Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for season number 5. It is round 9 of the championship as we take in the Spanish Grand Prix from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. My name is James Heard. I'm going to be taking you through the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Tuesday evening. It's a very chilly Tuesday evening up north here, certainly. Drivers are getting out on track. They're going to be going on a set of intermediate compound tyres, of course, which gives us a little bit of time to run through what happened, of course, last week. And it was Rens Thomason who took the race win. Not only did he take the race win last week here in WR Legacy Division, he also took the race win last night in PSGL and definitely deserved it from my perspective last night as well. Justin in second, Mustache there in third, Goals King fourth, Fuller Congan fifth, Venom, Rayen, Fraser, Zach and Belby rounding off the top 10. Brando Nassim, Skies, Gavroche and Gian there for TRT down in 15th position. What did that do to the championship standings? Well, BRT still living in a BRT world. They are 60 points clear of Team Jazoo at the top step of the standings. Even a mouthful for me to say. 333, all the trees for Bunga Racing Team there with 333 points. Team Jazoo in second on 273. ET8 in third, overtaking CPI very crucially, 237 points to their name. CPI there in fourth on 210. TTM in fifth, they're back in at potentially 201 points, separating into fifth position. Tatum Racing Team in sixth on 171. Team TF10 in seventh on 121. Novus will always remain on 76 unless they make a miracle comeback. Future Racing Team there in ninth on 69. Project Avicio Racing there in 10th on 55. And then Grand Track 10 there in 11th on 18 points. I think that's the right standings. I'm just questioning whether they're right. I believe they are. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, if that is completely wrong. I thought Grand Track 10 was on a little bit more, but might be my fault. Let's have a look now at the grid. Coming into tonight, we have got drivers out on track. There are noticeable qualifying bans. There are noticeable grid penalties as well coming into tonight. And the Red Bulls have got one. Mustache and Enzo for TTM. Enzo taking the 5th-place grid penalty. Phantom and Lafitte in for EVE. Then it's Christian and Samuel in for TRT. Interesting that Samuel Barker racing here for TRT tonight. Gakowski and Jesler in for CPI. Mateo taking a qualifying ban. Not expect them to be up toward the top end of the field with that qualifying ban. And Sergio taking a 5th-place grid penalty as well. Cameron Dowds and Tom, ever the goated pairing for Team Jazoo, with Zach and Sam there for FRT. Watch out for them, I think, here tonight. Rayen also having a qualifying ban along with Tales, who's got a 10th-place grid penalty. Those two teams, ET8 and Team TF10, will take no further part in this session with Tales there, taking that 10th-place grid penalty. Justin and Tech in for BRT. Very interesting lineup that they've got Justin and Tech in once again, and then Acid and Court in for GT10. And we can take you actually back out on track now because first runs are coming in. Zach out on top with a 14.2, Acid on a 14.3, Quartz on a 14.3, Enzo just about to start his lap, actually just coming off a lap, even down in towards turn number 1 there. Phantom is on a set of soft compound and tyres, and he's not ghostly. He goes to the top end of the field, 111.6, very good lap time there for Phantom for EVE, and that is the only man that is on a set of soft compound and tyres right now. Phantom though out on top, Zach in second. Then it's Acid in third. We should have Jota alongside me in the commentary box. Jota, how you doing?
Hello, folks. Sorry about that. Once again, it wouldn't be a typical World session if I wasn't late to the frame. It's going to be an exciting one here tonight, though, for certain. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing how people are actually going to combat the barrage of penalties and grid penalties, bans and everything. So, once again, it may be another situation when we see the midfield team start to mix up the pack a little bit.
Definitely so, and obviously with Mateo and Rayen both having qualifying bans, they could have been favourites for pole position around here. I know Mateo's done very well around here in EML, took pole position for ET8 that day. Rayen, very strong driver around this track as well. Taking two of the strongest drivers out in qualifying here in Spain means that we've got opportunities for the likes of TRT to make an impact tonight. The likes of EVE making an impact already with Phantom there going quickest out of everyone with a 111.6. That is the only first run. That is a big caveat. That is the only first run on a set of soft compound tyres that we've got right now. Gakowski back into pit lane. Cameron Dowd's also back in the pits along with Christian. So nothing really happening in the session. Gives me a good chance, actually, to get you in the session, which I will get you in very much now. Oh, in fact, you've already joined.
Now,
Even done.
Yeah, well, he just managed to sneak in through Zach, actually, bless him. I've just asked him to invite me. He's done exactly that. So I'm now in the session finally for this first qualifying session here in Spain. You know what, though, James? I think Spain, this is, I said to you this last week, actually, and I still stand by this. I think this being the moderate circuit where you've got your mixture of your fast, slow, and medium speed corners is going to offer the moderate driver, the driver that just wants to go out there and enjoy themselves racing, a real opportunity to shine. So I'm expecting the likes of Justin to be towards the front. I'm expecting Cameron Dowes to be up there. I'm expecting Zach to be up there as well. I think he might have a little bit of a drive potentially through Q1. So we'll see how they do, and never, ever, 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 ever discredit TTM as well. I think Enzo and Mustache, especially off the back of that result in China, is obviously going to be smiling from ear to ear going into Spain, and they'll know that they've got the momentum going into this one.
Yeah, and of course, one of the TTM drivers, I believe, I'm gonna double check who it is because I'm not certain. Even though I've just read it out, I'm not certain who the TTM is. The TTM driver is, even that's got the penalty. I believe it is Mustache, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that. It's one of the two. I'm 50-50 otherwise. Tales, by the way, is another one that has got a penalty tonight. 10 place grid penalty for him. So he is starting there in 7th position at this moment in time. He's now on a set of soft compound tyres, a 114.5 for his name. The Brazilian has had issues in the past with internet. He desynced, of course, last night from PSGL. So if that's anything to go by, we should be expecting potentially a tail from Tales tonight.
Yeah, I'm expecting potentially Tech up there as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how Samuel Barker is actually going to perform as well in the Ferrari. I think you know that it's a real sort of buzz, I think, at the moment in TRT, and I think there's a sort of slow development of drivers where they've brought in new drivers that we haven't actually seen in TRT in Christian and Sam. So I'm expecting them to sort of want to set a precedent around here. Again, an opportunity for them to see themselves around a circuit that is, you know, again, the moderate of circuits, your combination of all speed corners around here. So this is the opportunity for certain, as I think we've just got Acid getting going with his lap for GT10.
Yep, definitely so indeed. Delayed audio, by the way, should be fixing itself very soon indeed. Thanks, Lawrence, for picking that up there in the chat. Tales now coming through the right-hander, though, of turn number 8 into the right-hander turn number 9. He is the first on a lap time. Acid also on a lap time. Hopefully, not going to be living up to his name here tonight and not going to be on that drug. 50.4 though from Tales in the middle sector, looking pretty good from Tales now coming through. Oh, flicking it, coming through the left-hander now, turn number 11, through the right-hander, turn number 12 even, a Bank Sabadell, right at the top of the hill, one of the highest points on the track, now through the right-hander 13, through the right-hander now, turn number 14, we'll see what the Brazilian can do. Should be a good lap time actually from Tales, should go quicker than Phantom, and does. The Ghost now down into second, Tales telling the tale at the top end of the standing so far. Acid though responds, 50.7 in the middle sector, so the Frenchman looking quite good for the Grand Track 10 team. Icon speak clearly tonight. Tellers out on top, Phantom in second. Zach there in third, then Acid in fourth, and Acid now coming through the right-hand turn number 13. On the run down the hill, into the right-hand turn number 14. I think we've got the Williamses coming up next of Sam and Zach as Acid comes to the line. 111.7, already close between the top three.
Yeah, 1.5 tenths separating him from Tales at the moment, TF10. Of course, his teammate TF10, Ryan, is serving the qualifying ban here tonight. ETA also serving the qualifying ban in Mateo, as I'm sure, James, you already alluded to earlier on in this broadcast, where, of course, I took no part in that early bit of that as well. Again, apologies to all the team on that one. Curiously, at the moment, I've got a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a glitch on my screen, and this is a new one. So, at the moment, I've got Tales in the pit lane. He's currently in his pit box, in the garage, whilst he's turning his steering wheel and over revving the engine. So it's like he's around, he is on circuit, but for some reason on my screen he's in the pit lane. So that's a lovely new glitch.
And he's actually coming back into the pit lane on my screen. So
there we go.
clearly fixing itself. Yeah, clearly fixing itself. Tellers there into the pit lane, obviously coming just off his run with the 111.6. Acid there down his lap time. Zach is on a lap. Sam on a lap as well for FRT, along with Enzo and Tech. And Sam actually comes through the right-hand return number 9. Into now the left-hand return number 10. 50.5 in the middle sector. Pretty much bang on, really, where Tellers, Phantom, Acid, the likes of these guys are through the first sector split. Sam, I've got to say, is probably one of the favourites for pole position here tonight. Not to dig in and put pressure on the FRT team. I know how consistent they are around this track, and Sam definitely looking to try and get up there. Now through the final corner, on the run to the line, 111.6, puts him up there with Tellers, puts him up there with Phantom, goes quicker than his teammate as well, but not for long, because there goes his teammate Zach. 1:11.4, and he now goes a tenth and a half quicker than Tallers. Very, very good lap times coming in, though, from the likes of
Here
Quartz
comes
as
Tech.
well. Tech is on the run toward the line, goes quickest there with a 1:11.3. Who is furthest on the run? I think Samuel Barker's on the run, but he's in the middle sector.
Yeah, I'm just keeping a firm eye at the moment on Lafitte as well. Nice to see Lafitte back in for the Aversio Racing team. The Aversio Racing outfit, obviously, of course, the Maltese team looking to try and set early precedents. Lafitte, very unlucky last time out. I think he was in Qatar where last time we saw him. Ended up in a pretty horrific collision with one of the TTM drivers. And I think in the end, you know, someone who actually has got more pace in him than perhaps meets the eye. So never discredit Lafitte around here. He could be one to watch tonight for certain. I'm just keeping an eye out then, as of course, as people are just finishing their laps as well. Quartz came across the line and starts his lap. 1:11.8 is what he would have set, I believe, on the last occasion, and that's a 1:11.843. Yes, he's just a little bit behind his teammate, but Katkowski coming across the line, beating Zach, but not Tech. On that occasion as well. Cameron Dow's a little bit down the order as well. Samuel Barker darting out the way, 11.6 for him. So plenty of lap times coming as well. Mustache, curiously, 18.5. So very, very poor lap. Obviously not a representative lap of what we would expect from Mustache, as he's chucking the car very Alonso 0506 like through turn 1.
Yeah, I'm on board with Sergio now coming through into the right-hand return number 12, and Sergio's looked pretty good, I've got to say, on his lap time right now for ET8. Of course, Matteo taking that qualifying ban. Both drivers picking up penalties for ETE and ET8 even, and TF10 tonight. Sergio to the line goes third, 1:11.4. Very, very good lap time there from him. Enzo there just filters into fourth, and Lafitte immediately goes second with a 1:11.375. Yeah. So very good lap times being set in by pretty much everyone out on track. Tom Roberts is invalidated, using that experience to good effect, I see. The Brit there down in 14th position. Quartz there back into the pit lane. Mustache looking now to try and prove that the French result of the 2014 Eurovision Song Contest is no fluke and got nil point from that. Hopefully nil point not coming his way here today in the Mustache. Down through the right-hander at turn number 12. Justin, you come on board with there going 7th, 1:11.4 from his perspective. Mustache though through the final couple of corners looking very quick on the run toward the line. And he goes into 8th position to just back this in with Justin Jeslow.
Yeah, so at the moment, GT10, I've got a driver through. Of course, bottom two in Matteo and Rayan, as we said, serving those qualifying bans means that only 3 people are getting knocked out of Q1 as it stands so far. Tallers, Christian, and Quartz are going to be the people who are going to be knocked out, as Gatkowski has retired in the pit lane. He's happy with his 1:11.3. I would be as well. So he's going to be safely through, I think. Lafitte, no surprises. I did say, you know, don't ever discredit him, because he's a cracking little driver and he's going to make some big inroads if he keeps on with performances like that one. And EVE may end up losing quite a big driver, because there may be some sort of, no disrespect to EVE, but one of the bigger teams may end up deciding to poach him. So we'll see what happens with him if he keeps up with performances like that one. But at the moment, Christian on an out lap, needing to get a lap time in for TRT. Ooh. But Phantom coming across the line, and look at EVE are flying high at the moment in first and third.
EVE clearly not afraid of any ghosts right now. Phantom out on top, Tech there in second, Lafitte there in third. It's a little bit too late for Halloween, but still, Christian on the run now through the right-hander at turn number 13, now through the right-hander at turn number 14 at New Holland Corner, and is now on the run to the line just to start up on his lap time. Quartz and Acid look like they're going to go again as well. Just to provide, by the way, an example on the on qualifying, do not get knocked out in Q1 and Q2. If Sergio qualifies 6th and Tallers is first, for example, who starts 10th and 11th? That's a very good question by Dirk there in the Discord. I'm sure that is going to be answered very soon indeed. But Christian, going to try and answer all the questions that TRT have now got to bring. 6th, 7th up in the first sector, 21.6. Not looking too bad at all as he now comes down into the left-hand turn number 5. I'd say at corner. Yes, we can say these corner names because these are the corner names of the circuit. Now coming to the left-hander, the king of turn number 6. Into my favourite section out on track. Through the left-hander 7, through the right-hander now of turn number 8. I can put claim to fame saying that I won an F1 23 around here as well. Now coming to the right-hand return number 9. Into the left-hand return number 10. Christian's middle sector. Very good indeed. 50.4 in that middle sector. Up with the likes of Zach. Up with the likes of Enzo, Justin, Mustache. That sort of area is where he's going to be going. The TRT man now coming to the right-hander of turn number 12. Now through the right-hander at 13. And then into the right-hander at turn number 14. Phantom, Tech, Lafitte currently the top 3. Interesting that Lafitte and Phantom haven't retired just yet. Christian only manages 12th position. That's a little bit of a shocker for me.
Yeah, a little bit down the order, I think, at the moment of the TRT boys. I think we're expecting a bit better from them at the moment. They are both through as it stands, but only through skin of their teeth, actually. And I think there's definitely going to be improvements coming in. I'm not expecting Tales to be scoring a 1:14.5. There is more pace in him than that one, so he's going to climb up the rankings for certain. Tom Roberts being knocked out in Q1 would be a big shock as well. So I think they're still at risk here. Sam down in P14 is a bit of a risky one as well. Quartz has just invalidated, actually, so he's only got one last shot at this one here, and he's going to have to just calm down and look after those tyres as he recharges the batteries. But once again, Phantom still leading the way in EVE, showing that they are not at the bottom of the standings because they are not a good team at the moment. They are flying high in first and third, and that pace shows something pretty substantial, maybe on the horizon.
Potentially so. Acid now coming to the right hand of turn number 13, through the right hand now of turn number 14, and bails into the pit lane. So Acid, has he got enough time? He's got a minute to get this stop, turned around and then back out for another run. That's going to be close, very, very close, I think, getting that. I think he should be fine. Maybe 10 seconds buffer here and there. But Acid is in trouble. His pit garage is right toward the bottom end of the field. So I think Acid there, down in 16, might have just mistimed that. And he's been held up by his teammate in the pit lane. He is definitely not getting another run right now. So I can definitely confirm to you right now, because the time is not going to be on Acid's side. Acid is out. Quartz potentially could be out here as well. Tom Roberts, though, absolutely nailed to the coffin right now. Down in 17th position, 111.7. We never see Tom Roberts under pressure, but now we do. Coming to the right-hander now of turn number 3, and he's normally quite good. He normally can put a lap in around when it matters here in qualifying. He's only 1900 up, though, through the first sector, 21.6, through the right-hander 4, now to the left-hander turn number 5. Jesdal there retires in the session. I thought it said Jota retired from the session there, I've got to be honest. Now coming through the left-hander at turn number 6, into the left-hander now of turn number 7, and the right of turn number 8 through the chicane. This is looking better from Tom Roberts, but it doesn't look as quick as what it could be from his setups in recent past, in EML, in PSGL as well around here. 50.4 though, matching. Good middle sector from Tom. This should be enough to get him through. Acid and Quartz are done. They are definitely out. So Tom Roberts needs to just be within the white lines and make a mistake even through the final corner, and he looks fine. He should be going Mustache, Justin, Zach, that sort of area. Now coming through the final corner. The Brit is going to make it through. Where's he position going to be? It's only 16th and he's out.
Yeah, that's a shocker, isn't it? I wasn't expecting his first sector was actually not very good. And actually, that second sector was pretty decent, but it wasn't enough to cater for the very poor first sector. So Tom Roberts out of qualifying, and that is a shock. To say the least. As it stands, both of the GT10 boys are also going to be out as it stands, as Acid coming into the pit lane did block Quartz in the end by enough that he's so far around the circuit, and that will be out of the running for that one. Cameron Dow starts into the pit lane as the sole Shazoo driver, and Tala is getting through to Q2 through P6 is a really good effort for TF10 indeed, as both of their drivers are through as it stands as well, and as it stands as it is. As well, so you know what, Rayan actually, saying both of the drivers through, Rayan's not even qualified as he's serving a qualifying ban, so actually the only driver in TF10 has got through. Yeah, big shock for me though, that one. Tom Roberts is out, EVE leading from the front.
EVE leading from the front. Indeed, Samuel Barker goes the line and doesn't improve his position. Didn't really need to be fair. In the end, he's there in 14th position, but that is him out. Tom Roberts out, coming through in through Q1. Team Shazoo have lost their real big figurehead, and Cameron Dowd in 11th position does not fill me up with a lot of confidence, I've got to be honest, from Team Shazoo's perspective. Quite a few drivers, though, potentially complaining about the bumps on this track, and this was mentioned, I think, in recent patch notes, if I'm not mistaken. They had fixed the bumps around here on F124. Whether or not they've fixed them entirely is an absolutely different thing, because we've got smoke and mirrors galore at the minute with the recent patch update. But Phantom out on top, Tech there in second, Lafiti there in third. Who would have thought that for a top 3 in Q1? Gatowski there in fourth, Sergio there in fifth, then it's Tales, Enzo, Zach, Justin, Mustache top 10. Cameron Dowds, to be fair, only 2,000th of a second off Mustache. He can try and improve though going into Q2. Jessel there in 12th, then Christian, Samuel Barker, and then Sam round up the top 15. Tom Roberts missed out by 400th of a second in the end. Acid, Quartz, not too far off the pace either. 2 times actually separating Tom to Quartz. And then Mateo and Rayan, of course, taking those qualifying bans. Looking through the chat, bumps galore is being mentioned, definitely. But we are about to go into Q2. And Q2 should be Very interesting indeed, given how that session went in Q1.
You know what? So as well, you mentioned a little bit earlier on in Q1 about how you managed to get, I think it was a race victory in a league race in F1 23 around here. Was that right? I
Yeah.
think that's what you said. You know what? It's just reminded me that my first ever league race victory was around here. F1 2016 for me was the first ever league race that I ever did, and it was around Spain. So now I just feel very old.
It doesn't count though, because it's on the old layout. This is the new layout we're talking about.
Right, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, I'll not feel as old then on that one because I haven't actually won a league race around the new layout at all. So there we go.
No, I actually won. I strung out the field. Actually, it was in League of Europe, the league that normally runs the 24 hours of F1, which is actually not happening this year. I was running there in, albeit Division 4. Yes, my standards are not as good as what they used to be, but I actually won a race around here, so I can certainly make that claim to fame. Not that the chat cares. The 107 people of you are absolutely being bored out of your minds right now, but the outlaps are now beginning, and we should expect majority drivers being on an old set of soft compound tire. The only one that hasn't ventured out the pit lane, interestingly, just yet, is Christian for TRT. The first man out on track, though, I believe, is it one of the Mercedes? I can't look. It's one of the Kick Saubers, even. It's Tech coming through the right-hander at turn number 9. We will see what Tech can do, of course, out on track. BRT on top of the standings, 70 points clear of Team Chizou coming into tonight. It's a big gap, and it's a gap that can actually hold going into next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the actual league I was in as well, man. I'm having nostalgic memories. I think it was the Great Racing League, I think it was called back then. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, it was an absolute mess, that league. But you know what? It was still fun, and that's all that mattered, really. And that's what these guys are having, loads of fun out there. Apart from if you were GT10, who had an absolutely atrocious bit of organisation there. What happened between them? Why did Acid, come into the pit lane and not recognise, and this is not Acid's fault, but why did he come into the pit lane at the point of, the team needing to send out their other driver to try and get through? Like, surely there needs to be a bit more organisation between the Grand Track team. It's a bit of a shocker from them, actually. Both of them out alongside Tom Roberts. I'm on board with Cameron Dowsman, the sole Chizou driver. And you made a point at the end of Q1. It's showing here that Team Chizou under the cosh a little bit in this race here, aren't they?
They are, and he's actually down on Tech through the first sector. Tech was at 21.6, runs wide there slightly coming through turn number 8. Cameron Dowds, though, 21.7, down in the first sector. So Cameron Dowds, I've ratified him, to be honest, in terms of qualifying, and his qualifying is not strong on this game. Tech, however, though, is looking strong. 50.4, bit of a sideways moment coming through the left-hander there at turn number 11. Through the right-hander now, turn number 12. Enzo, Talez, Sam, currently top 3, of course, drivers on their first runs here in Q2. Now coming to the right-hander of 13 with the Kick Sauber. Now through the right-hander of turn number 14 with Tech, and he's looking to try and provide all the Techers out on track. 111.5, that might be on a U set. I'd be very surprised if it's not, to be honest. Tech there going top. Justin there in second. Take a photo because it's not going to last long. Enzo goes quicker. 11.484 goes quicker by a tenth ahead of Tech. Jeslo though comes in 9,000 off the back of Enzo, and Cameron Dowds must have made a mistake. You had a big ooh in the background, I think, and he must have made a mistake because he's on a 17 flat there.
Yeah, he absolutely tank slapped it all the way through with Lafitte. Only 11.6 for him, actually. I'm expecting a bit more pace from him on that one because I'm expecting big things from Lafitte in this race tonight, actually, not to put pressure on him. But yeah, a bit of a shocker, actually, for Cameron Dowds as he was going through turn 7. He just had an absolute slide going through that left-hander, and he just felt no comfort at all in the rear of the car going through turn 8 either. So to me, it just looks like the car's not been set up right at all for the man that we expect big things from, actually, Cameron Dowds in the Alpine. So clearly no comfort in that one. Christian also experiencing similar issues at the moment. Cameron Dowds trying to improve, but he's down 0.8 of a second in the second sector. So I think he's just bailing on this lap, coming straight into the pit lane. Gatkowski as well, the man of the moment in the Discord, we'll say, at the moment, is currently struggling out there as well. He invalidates his lap time, so he is down at the back in 15th, but of course plenty of lap time, plenty of qualifying time, still able to get a lap time in.
Yeah, Gatkowski has been somewhat controversial, let's say, in the manager's chat.
Let's just be diplomatic and just say vocal.
Yeah, very vocal, I'm going to say, from Gatkowski. Christian, though, trying to provide the Ferrari engine to be very vocal, now coming through the middle sector. To the right-hand turn number 9, into the left-hand turn number 10, middle sector split, 50.5. Up there, definitely looking better. He has gone for a low fuel run on this run as well, so he should really, relatively be up there. With the likes of Phantom, Tech, Mustache, Lafiti, that sort of area, it's very close, actually, between Lafiti, Justin, and Zach. Only 1/100th of a second separating those three drivers. Now Christian comes through the final corner. On the run to line for TLT, does he go in amongst that? Oh, and he does. He goes 7th, and he goes ahead, behind Mustache, ahead of Lafiti. Call me Mystic James.
Yeah, he actually matches Mustache at all in the lap time with an 11.594, but because, of course, he sets it second, tucks in behind Mustache on the third row, but still actually not even deciding the rows at the moment, of course, because it's only Q2. But yeah, a bit of a mixed bag out there at the moment, but no surprises that at the moment it's actually incredibly close. The top 4 separated by under a 10th, exactly a 10th between the top 5, and critically, when you look down even further, the difference between you being at the front and being knocked out of qualifying is less, just a little bit more than 0.2 of a second, a 10th separating the top 10. That's shocking, big stuff. That's amazing. It's exactly what we'd expect from the this impeccable league that we've got here at WOR.
Yeah, 10th and 3/4 separating first to 10th right now. Add into that Samuel Barker, to be fair, and it's 2 10s covering the top 11, so it's really, really close out on track. This is only Q2, but it does provide a lot, potentially, for those guys that have got penalties. The likes of Sergio I'm looking at there in 3rd. The likes of Enzo as well, who's got a penalty, currently top in the session. Where are they going to filter out at no other session? Are they going to get through to Q3, trying to maximise their position? Or are they going to fall by the wayside potentially in Q2? I'm talking about this, and it's 8.5 minutes to go. Currently in Q2, Zach is going to be the first man out on track. We expect him to say and see, really, a very good lap time from Zach. FRT were very strong around here in EML, so let's hope and let's pray that Zach can be doing that for FRT. Running out down into the right-hander of turn at number 1. Very wide entry you can take going into the corner without invalidating. Very nice from Zach coming through 2. Now to the right-hander turn number 3. Judging by the condition on the tyre, he is on a fresh set of soft compounder tyre, and now comes through the right-hander turn number 4. And 21.5 up in the first sector, but it's the middle sector and the final sector that really matters for him.
Tech up 69 thousandths of a second, nice through the first sector, but not finding a bit of comfort on the rear. I'm wondering if he's on a used tyre still, his Tech, because he's in the rear is a little bit unstable, going through 7, and it looks like he's actually backed off on this lap, so he's done. So Tech's not going to be continuing on this occasion. Phantom coming across to start his lap at the moment. I'm keeping a firm eye on Gatkowski, though. His first sector, not particularly sharp, but looking like to be a bit more of a conservative one.
Zach, by the way, 50.3 in the middle sector, definitely improving in that middle. He has saved a bit as well of ERS towards the line now, coming through the right-hander at turn number 13, through the right-hander at turn number 14. This should be a 3 or 4 tenth improvement here from Zach, relatively, on the run to the line. Call me Mystic James again, 111.3, 3/10 improvement there from Zach. Enzo down on a lap time through the first sector. Jeslaw's middle sector, down on Zach, 50.3 remember from Zach, 50.4 for Jeslaw. He's one of the next to come across the line, along with his teammate Gatkowski, who's actually now through the final corner. He is flying with a 50.2 in that middle sector, on the run to the line, goes quickest, 111.2, very good lap time from him. Jeslaw next up, now coming to the right-hander of the final corner. Justin there goes 3rd, I think better by Jeslaw, though he does, 5,000 quicker than Justin. Sam there going into 5th position as well. Cameron Dowd's now on the run toward the line. That's more like it from Team Chazoo. That's more like it from the Flying Scotsman. 111.3, but it's better by Sergio, bettered by Mustache. Very good improvement there by the Frenchman. Very good improvement there by the Italian. Lafiti there goes the line, goes 8th position. I think Tales there went 7th as well. Really, really close qualifying session. Christian the only one in the pit lane.
Wow.
Not sure if Samuel Barker's on a run. I think he just came off one. Gatkowski out on top. Sergio 2nd. TTM currently looking good 3rd and 4th. That is more like it, though, from Cameron Dowd in 5th as well. And look at the top 6. They're covered by 500ths of a second.
500th of a second separating the top 6. Less than a 10th separating the top 7. And just a bit under a 10th and 0.12 seconds separating the top 10. And your difference between you being the fastest driver out there and being knocked out of qualifying is 0.127 seconds. That's absolutely impeccable. It's so close out there. Like I said, just the thousandth is the difference between you being first and potentially being fourth, fifth, or sixth. And like I said, Cameron Dowds will be feeling so confident, thinking, yeah, that's the kind of lap I need. And then suddenly, second, third, fourth, and he's down to fifth. Like, absolutely bonkers. That's, you know, it'd be really unfortunate to feel like he's not safe at the moment, considering that we all praised him in that one. So, look, we've got to be candid here. Anybody in the top 15 could be knocked out. That's just the situation we're in.
I'll ask you this question now. Given where Gatkowski is, and given where Jeslar is, both the CPIs top and tail in the session, currently with the 1st and 10th position, currently seeing themselves through. Basically, my question is, will Gatkowski have to go again just to secure himself of a spot? Because it's so tight between the top 12. It's a 10th and a half covering the top 12. I think every single driver's got to go again, in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I think everyone in the session has got to go again. I don't think anyone's safe here, and I think if anyone thinks they're safe, if they want to bail out, you're more than welcome to. But I do think that there is a risk that you could be knocked out of qualifying at the moment, especially considering, take a look at the situation with 11th and 13th. That's BRT. They're both knocked out of qualifying as it stands, and I do expect Justin and Tech to be improving on their lap times. Justin set his lap time, Tech didn't, so he was on he ended up invalidating his lap and bailing out, so he's now going to get a fresh set of boots on. And critically, Samuel also was in the same position as well for TRT, and Christian is just getting going, so he's actually out of sync with everyone else. He's just starting his lap now as he heads through turn 3.
Yep, through the right-hander now of turn number 3. Dirk there mentioned in the chat that the top 6 is safe. It's only 200ths of a second between Zach and Tallez, though. Isn't that really calling it safe, potentially? Only time will tell, of course, as the session goes on. Christian now comes to the left-hander now of turn number 5. This is more committed, I've got to say, from Christian. Now coming to the left-hander 5, through the left-hander turn number 6. His steering input there, he just lost a little bit of time just through that kink of turn number 6. The Einzelite coming through the chicane, now through the right-hander turn number 9, the fastest part of the track now, into the left-hander turn number 10. Christian's middle sector should be around a 50.3. 50.3 it is, a 10th and a half improvement. He adds himself into the mix here. The likes of Phantom, Jeslar, Lafiti. If he goes between Zach and Tallez, they've got to go again. No question about it. Christian now comes to the right-hander of the right-hander turn number 13. Through the right-hander turn number 14. Christian very much improving on this run. Now goes to the line for TRT. Goes into 8th, and that's a good improvement. He's out of sync towards everyone else, though. That could be the thing that hurts him.
And that makes the top 8 are all separated by less than a 10th. That's absolutely bonkers to say that. And the difference between you being through and being knocked out is now 0.121 seconds in this race. That's absolutely bonkers. I've never seen anything like it. So, I mean, we've had some really close qualifying sessions, haven't we, James, as well this season? So we're seeing another absolute blinder where the entire race weekend is just so impeccably close. And that is just fantastic to watch, and no surprises in this one. TTM have both sent their drivers out. Sergio's been sent out as well. I'm assuming Gatkowski will be leaving any second. No one thinks they're through.
Nobody thinks that.
Oh, well, there he is. Gatkowski thinks.
Gatkowski definitely thinks he's through. Whether or not he is going to be, though, was a different thing. It's a fascinating session because you get multiple improvements toward the end of the session, which is very rare for a qualifying session around here in Spain. We normally see a lot of invalidations late on, or certainly I do in commentary. And if that's the case, and we see a lot of invalidations, Gatkowski is more than likely be safe. Tallez, though, was up in the first sector. He's the first man to set up on a run. Now coming to the left-hander in towards turn number 10. His middle sector split. 50.1 in the middle sector. The Brazilian now flying and looks to try and put Gatkowski, Sergio, Mustache all on notice toward the top end of the field. Now he comes to the right-hander turn number 12 at Bang Sabadell. Through the right-hander 13. Now through the right-hander New Holland corner at turn number 14. This is looking very good from Tallez. Hits the bump there slightly through 14. On the run to the line. Does go quicker though. 111.1. If everybody else can find that improvement of time, Gatkowski's in trouble.
Yeah, Tech's 50.1 as well. I think Gatkowski might be in trouble if people are going to keep up with this performance. I don't know if track evolution's becoming a potential factor here as Christian is retired. He can't continue on in this session anyway. Justin, second fastest, beats Gatkowski now down to third. Tech had a really good second sector as well. We'll see where he comes across the line right now. He goes second fastest as Gatkowski's now down to fourth. We'll keep an eye out and see how the other ones are going. Sergio is up in the first sector. Mustache is just about to finish the second sector. Let's see where Mustache is going to. He comes across the line right now. now it's a 50.2 for him as well. So a bit of further improvements potentially on the cards here. I think Gatkowski might be fine.
Zach.
Oh, never mind. Zach's just gone fastest as well. And that means now the top 10 are separated by less than 0.2 of a second. Mustache looking to improve. Sergio, I think it was Enzo, sorry, who only goes 6th fastest in the end. Mustache looking to improve. Where will he come across the line right now? He goes 3rd fastest and moves Gatkowski down to 6th. Here he comes then. Is Sergio going to improve? He's done a 50 points. Looks like a 50.2. It is another 50.2 as well. Cameron Dow's also looking to improve as well. Enzo is off the track, but he's fine. And just Jeslar, he can't improve either. So it looks like here we're going to lose one of the we're going to lose one of the McLarens, or we're going to lose the other one. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. Cameron Dow's looking to try and improve at the moment as well. Enzo will not improve. Phantom goes up to 7th. It's getting close. Here we go.
Cameron Dow's now through the final quarter. Needs to find a big improvement. Saves all the ERS for the line. Deployment used. Only 10th for Cameron Dowds. He's the one in trouble. Lafitti's improving by 1/10.5. 50.2 in the middle sector. Could knock Cameron Dowds out. Lafitti to the line. Knocks him out. Goes 2nd. Cameron Dowds is out of qualifying. Samuel Barker purple in the middle sector as well. Gatkowski is fine. Enzo not improving. In the end, it's going to be whether or not Enzo gets through. Samuel Barker now through the right-hand return, the 14 for TRT. Now on the run to the line in the scooter for Ferrari. Doesn't even improve in the end. 111.5. Does improve his lap time. Doesn't improve his position. Zach out on top. Lafitti in 2nd. Taller's there in 3rd. The top 11 are covered by 1/10 of a second. Cameron Dowds is out by the skin of his teeth. 0.002 of a second separating Enzo and Cameron Dowds. That is what we like to call the danger zone.
I've got 1/1000th of a second as well, so I don't know if it's different for you or different for me, but 1/1000th of a second separating Enzo from Cameron Dowd to me. Gatkowski gets through. He retires. He felt confident that he was going to get through. 0.005 of a second is the difference between him getting through and being knocked out despite being top. So he felt confident. I think his just heart rate might have gone up a bit there.
Oh, his heart rate's definitely gone through. My heart rate's gone through the roof just on that qualifying session. I'm not sure what these drivers are feeling out on track. Whether or not they're on the brink of a heart attack is a different thing. Zach out on top, Lafitti in 2nd. Taller's there in 3rd. Zach, in the end, I did say watch out for FRT in the session. Sam obviously out. I did big him up, to be fair, and said he's going to improve. And he's going to be one of the top guys in qualifying. But in the end, it's the other man we have to watch on board with. Zach out on top. Then it's Lafitti in 2nd. Then it's Talles in 3rd. This top 10 is wide open, honestly. 10th.25 covering the top 10. Really close in qualifying. Zach out on top, Lafitti in 2nd, Talles there in 3rd, Sergio there in 4th, Mustache there in 5th, Tech in 6th, Justin in 7th, Phantom in 8th, 7,000th of a second covering 5th to 8th. Are you mad, bro? Gatkowski to the 9th, Enzo there in 10th, 2,000th of a second on my end there between Enzo and Cameron. Christian, Jeslar, Sam, and Samuel Barker, both the Sams out, but Zach out on top, Lafitti 2nd, Talles in 3rd. I'm going to say it now, and I'll probably say it again, probably 10 times over. This is the most wide-open qualifying we are seeing this season.
What? What's going on? This is absolutely bonkers. I've seen some really close qualifying, but the fact that the top 8 were separated by under a 10th, and as I said, the person who was on pole or at the front of Q2 managed to just get through to Q3 by 0.005 of a second, for me is the shocker. Like, that just shows you that you can't take anything for granted. So Gatkowski felt confident. I think that's probably a bit of a wake-up call that every 1,000th of a second is going to count for pole position. Answer that postcard, folks. I don't know who's getting pole.
I don't know who's getting pole either, and I dare not mention potentially the likes of BRT. BRT have looked strong, but not as strong as some of the teams here out on the track. We have got, and I'm just looking through, in terms of the constructors, I think we've got 6 or 7 teams within this qualifying session, both TTM through, both one CPI through, we've got both BRT through, both EVE through for the first time all season, between Phantom and Lafitti. Phantom, of course, formerly CRE Ghost, if anybody remembers that name from EML, formerly him. Very, very good from his perspective. It's wide open. I cannot put on who I think is going to get pole. Just judging by his confidence and his cockiness out there, I'm going to go Gatkowski for pole.
I'm not. I'm gonna just say it's gonna be one of the back markers here, and I'm gonna put all my trust and my thoughts and feelings once again in Lafiti. I do think EVE. I've got a shout here at getting pole, so I'm gonna throw all the eggs into the Lafiti basket and say that he's on for pole. If I'm gonna say anyone, but let's be honest. One small mistake, one slightly millimeter off of the apex, and you're losing 1,000th or 2,000th of a second. That's the difference between you getting pole and potentially being in 8th at this rate. It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, definitely so. He was a CRE driver. It's the Phantom and the Ghost thing that I was going with. I got confused with his name. He's definitely former CRE driver, though, out on track. Gakowski now to the right-hander of turn number 4. 21.5 in the first sector. Definitely on a U-set compounder tyre. Apparently, he's got 3 fresh set of compounder tyres. I do not believe that for 1 second. I think he's on a U-set here, driven by that first sector. Now coming to the left hand of turn number 7, through the right hand of turn number 8, through the right hand of turn number 9. Middle sector split will be definitely telling if he's on a U-set or if he's on a fresh set. His middle sector split, Gatkowski coming in right now, 50.2, which makes me think he is on a fresh set.
Yeah, I think he is on a fresh set. Might save one spare, or maybe he's just trying to go all out and try and set the initial precedent. But I think even the smallest amount of track evolution is going to be so important. So if he has got the spare set, he's looking for it. Here he comes then through the right-hander and then the final corner as he's looking to try and set the initial precedent. We'll see what the lap time is, 11.2. So it is up there.
Fresh.
It is a used tyre, but it is up there. It is fresh, sorry, but it is definitely up there. Taller's looking to set initial lap time, 50.4 in the second sector. So he will be down the lap time. It was an 11.6 invalid, so 0.4 of a second. So that was a used set of tyres for him. Phantom comes across the line. Oh, wow, goes even faster, 11.2. EVE are showing their muscles and they're determined.
Very, very good lap time out on track from Phantom. Goes top, but it's only by 1700ths of a second. Justin is going to be one of the next up, I think, to start up on a lap. Tales and Tech, by the way, both invalidated on their first runs. Enzo about to start. Mustache just on his lap as well. But Justin now coming to the right-hander of turn number 3. Now into the right-hander of turn number 4. The first sector split coming up very soon. 22.8 from Justin, which makes me think, is he actually on a lap time right now? No, he is not, because he's in none.
Just curiously, by the way, in this one, yeah, that is confirmed. Gatkowski has 3 sets of soft tyres in this one. Tech sets his initial lap time. It would have been a 16.1166. So, yeah, he wasn't looking confident at all. It wasn't an invalid lap anyway. So, obviously, he let off a little bit. Going through turn 1, he'll have another go at it on this one. Justin on lap as well. His second sector split coming up. It's a 54.8. So, a little bit down the order for him.
Yeah, he's on none. He's not running on a lap time. Maybe trying what Christian and Cameron Dowds did in Q2 and go again potentially for another run. That's what I think Justin is going to do here. He should set the timing screen to light now, coming through the right hand of the final corner, which he does, and now he's going to go on for his proper run. Mustache, though, however, is on a run, as I think we saw an improvement there. Justin there going third. Mustache 50.2 in the middle sector, on the run to the line. Quicker! 111.1. Enzo now on the run to the line as well for TTM. TTM 1-2 all of a sudden. Now the tables begin to turn. 111.1 there from Mustache. 111.1 from Enzo. Who else is on a lap time? Zach is invalidated. Lafiti is coming through first sector split. 21.5 is quick in the first sector from Lafiti. Tech now coming through the middle sector now through the final sector, through the final corners of 10.14 at New Holland. On the run to the line with Tech. Goes third, 111.1. They are consistent, BRT, but not as consistent as what we might think. Sergio on a lap, Lafiti on a lap, Zach not on a lap right now. But Lafiti is the German who has been called potentially the second coming, the new up-and-coming like Cameron Dowds was last season. Lafiti, 50.1, huge in the middle sector.
Yeah, he's flying at the moment. I did say do not discredit this man because I do think he's potentially got some serious potential here. Going through the final couple of corners, keeps it nice and tight. Using hot laps, so he maybe even just wanted to use overtake right at the end. He is absolutely on it. Is EVE going to top Mustang? Wow, it's 11.114. Brilliant.
Watch out for Sergio, though. Sergio, to be fair, is 2/10 down on the Lafiti in the middle sector. 50.3, though, from Sergio in the middle sector. Is he on a used set, potentially, or is he on a slightly worn set? A sort of compound tyre on the rental line. Manager's 5th in the end, and we've got 5 drivers within the top, the top 10th of a second within qualifying. That didn't make any sense, to be fair. Lafiti out on top, Mustache 2nd, Enzo in 3rd, Tech there in 4th, Sergio there in 5th. what is that? 800ths of a second? I'm losing maths count right now. 800ths of a second separating the top 5. Zach is improving as well. Is he on a run, though? 50.2 in the middle sector. Looking to try and improve now, coming to the right hand with 13. Doesn't bail into the pit lane. Very much on no fuel. Now through the final corner for FRT. On the run toward the line. And he goes 11.2, so not too far off the pace either. Gatkowski going again as well with his fresh set. And he's 1800s up in the first sector.
Yeah, looking sharp at the moment. Zach actually lost time in the final sector because he burnt through a lot of his electrical energy, unfortunately, towards the beginning of his lap, because he made a slight mistake in the first sector through turn 3. So I think there's perhaps a bit more pace to be found actually in Zach's car, as well as more mistakes coming in. Gatkowski is trying to push to the absolute limit, but I'm expecting here that we're not going to be seeing any more than a 50.2 as a result of that mistake. Let's see when he comes across the line right now. 50.4, he is well off the pace as a result of that mistake. And I think Gatkowski surely diving into pit lane, get a fresh set of boots on, and just get ready. There's no point. This lap's dead.
Yep, totally agree. He's down 4 tenths pretty much on where he should have been, I think, really, on this lap. He should have been really improving in that middle sector. Absolutely botched turn number 7. Ran completely wide, coming off the apex of the corner. And Gatkowski there in 7. Zach there obviously improved. He's now down on the lap time. Not going to be improving on this run. We are just going to give him a little bit of filler content, though, because we have got 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock left to go. And in fact, actually, speaking of filler content, I will show you the championship standings, as we have got no action happening out on track right now. Bunga Racing Team out on top on 333 points. I did mistakenly say there were 70 points clear. They're only 60 points clear coming into tonight. Team Chazoo in second on 273. E-Tech there in third on 237. CPI in fourth on 210. TTM in fifth on 201. TRT in sixth on 171. Team TF10 in seventh on 121. Novus always on 76. FRT there in ninth on 69. Avisio there in 10th on 55. Judging by how this is going for EVE, they're not going to be on 55 surely by the end of tonight. And Grand Track 10 there in 11th on 18 points. Bunga Racing Team, 60 points clear, coming into the standings, coming into tonight. Team Chazoo in second, E-Ted in third. Judging by this qualifying session, it's all to play for. And judging by what Dirk has just said there in the chat, Jota, Rayen in PSGL, 110.9. Was that with the same handling, or was that the current handling? I believe that is with the same handling, and I know for a fact that was backed up by Danny Van Routen in EML, and he did a 110.9 as well. So, potentially, we could see a 110.9, as I thought the cloud cover was building over the circle there, but it's not. It's beautiful and sunny.
If anyone can find a couple of tenths with how close it is out there at the moment, they are going to set the precedent and be the front runner in this qualifier at the moment. I don't know who's got the audacity to put in a 10.9 out there. Lafiti is definitely leading from the front, and I was expecting that second sector performance. He was so close. It was a 50.1 flat, so a 1 more thousandth, and he would have been in the 50.0s. This guy is on fire at the moment, and I'm expecting big things from him in the future for certain, as everyone is getting themselves ready for this lap. Then 2.5 minutes left in this qualifier. Once again, top 5 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. Top 8 separated by just 1.121 seconds again. So 9th and 10th are yet to set laps or a representable lap time. Justin, I'm expecting, surely should be up there as well. Tales, again, should also be up there as well. Oh, this is going to be close. I don't know who's going to get it. I still think Lafiti's on for it. That's my gut feeling, but it could be anyone.
21.5 in the first sector, and Tales has made a mistake coming through turn number 4. That was noticeable with the gear change there that he had. Tales there down on his run, not going to be improving, but he has given himself plenty of time actually to try and go again. Gatkowski, by the way, luckily is on an out lap, because otherwise that would have been blocking there in qualifying. Enzo on a lap. Tech in the first sector. Oh, purple in the first sector, 21.518. Very, very good first sector there from the Brit. Now coming down the hill into the left-hander of turn at number 5, and we'll see what Tech can do. Has he got the Techers to pull it out of the 5 for BRT tonight? Now following out through the left-hander at turn number 7. Makes a slight mistake, I'm going to be honest, through the right-hander now of 8. Now through the right-hander at turn number 9. At the fastest point on the track as Tech now comes through into the left-hander turn number 10. If this is a 50.1, he's on it. 50.1, he's on it. He's a 10th up in that middle sector. The kick Sauber now really having to control the car through 11. That might have just cost him a little bit of time. Now through the right-hander at turn number 12 at Bank Sabadell. Now through the right-hander at 13. In through New Holland corner, finally at turn number 14. Tech looking to try and improve. Flies it through the final corner. Tech, has he got the answer for the Techers? No, only second.
Oh.
Lafiti's still out on top. Enzo now next up. He's going to go again, though.
Yeah, no, Tech lost it in the first sector, so slightly a little bit slower than Lafiti in that occasion. Lafiti's just about to get going with his lap, so I'll keep an eye on him and see how he's looking on this one. Mustache also on a lap as well.
Oh, he's invalid.
He's invalidated his lap. He's invalidated at that corner as well, which is disappointing. Enzo looking to try and improve, but he's obviously well off the pace. He's just about to get going as well. I'll keep an eye on Lafiti.
Yeah, Gakowski not improving either. There goes my prediction potentially for qualifying. It was a 50.1 though from Gakowski in the middle sector. Phantom looking to try and get up there as well for EVE. Middle sector split, 50 flat from Phantom. Huge in the middle sector for the EVE man. Now to the left-hander 11. Now in towards Bank Sabadell at turn number 12. The highest point on the track. Now bears no boundaries for Phantom. Now to the right-hander of turn number 13. Now in toward the right-hander of turn number 14. This is an 11 flat potentially coming in here. Phantom now through the final corner on the run to line. 111 point flat. Perfect. Very good from Phantom. Lafiti not responding in the first sector. Is his middle sector split any different? Both EVE not improving Lafiti. Tech now into the pit lane. Justin is done. Enzo is up. And he's up again in the middle sector, so Enzo could be the one to spoil the party if he has a big final sector here. Zach is actually flying through the final corner on the run to the line, steals it!
Oh, amazing!
13 hundredths of a second separating Zach and Phantom. Enzo now looking to try and improve beyond that potentially from Enzo. I don't think this is going to be enough though for the TTM man. On the run to the line, goes third, doesn't manage it, but very close. Look at the top three. Covered by 200ths of a second. It's Zach who steals it for FRT. Phantom in second. Enzo there in third. If you heard me at the start of qualifying saying, watch out for FRT tonight, watch out for FRT, but it was with the wrong driver I predicted it. Zach out on top.
I did say keep an eye out on Zach. I didn't think he'd be on pole, though. That's one astonishing lap time from Zach. That second sector was so fast. He wasn't as fast, actually, as Phantom in that second sector, but he just blitzed through the first part of that second sector. So I'm just checking. Yeah, it's his first sector. So much faster than the rest of the field. So Zach just absolutely blitzed it. Deserved pole position sitter, but it could have been anyone's. And it was so difficult to predict. So I'm not, getting angry about that prediction at all. So happy for a future racing team. They needed this performance, the team in 9th place, and they're on pole. But Phantom and Lafiti are looking fast. TTM, Enzo never discredit TTM, and ET8 needed that performance from Sergio as well, considering the qualifying ban for his teammate. He's in 4th. There, BRT though, 6th and 8th, a little bit off the pace, but only by small margins. Look at that, so close.
So close. Zach out on top, Phantom second, Enzo in third, Sergio 4th, Lafiti, Tech, Mustache, Justin, Gatkowski and Tales rounding off the top 10 there in what was a phenomenal qualifying session here in qualifying. Tabak there in the chat saying, not to be confused with the corner in Monaco, I must be honest. Tabak there in the chat saying, I told them he was an FRA Elite 45 regen. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've just remembered. No, apologies. I've just remembered that we're in for a race restart. So this is not going to matter. But it's raining on circuit. So these guys are really happy that they've got a race restart because it's absolutely chucking it down.
It is absolutely chucking it down out on track. It's a good job it is a restart, and it's a good job that I've just gone to the standings, so nobody knows. Nobody saw that slight bit of rain. It was intermediate compounder tyres, by the way, for this. We are going to be getting a restart very soon. It is going to be, though, EV13 with the grid penalties, as Luke has just mentioned there in the chat, and Enzo with a 5-place grid penalty as well. We're going to run the adverts, we're going to run the trailer, we're going to run the intermission slightly, we're going to work out who the hell is where, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for season number 5. It's round 9 of the championship. It is the Spanish Grand Prix. It's the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. It's myself, James Head, Jota alongside me in the commentary box, and Jota. This is how the land lies from China coming into tonight. Bunga Racing Team on 333 points. Team Chizou in second on 273. ET8 in third on 237. But the real question is, who's on pole position, because we had FRT and Avicio who are 9th and 10th going 1, 2 and 3 in that qualifying session.
Yeah, they've absolutely blitzed it, haven't they? Everyone getting themselves ready for the lobby now as everyone feels comfortable that we've got the grid all sorted out and people are getting themselves ready for what I'm sure will be a really intense race ahead of us. But the thing for me, looking at the standings by far is just Bunga on 333 and then Chizou on 273. So you've got that gap of 60 separating the pair of those. Team Chizou have not had the best qualifying. Both of them knocked out before Q3. Bunga Racing Team just managed to really sneak through Q1 and then Q2, Q3 really sort of held their own. But they're a little bit down the order in that mid-pack between 5th and 8th where those incidents at turn 1 could occur. And it's all about Project Aversio Racing, the EVE lot. I've shown some serious pace around Spain tonight. And of course, never discredit the likes of Zach as well, who of course manages to snap that pole position and take first place. So he'll be happy with that one. And FRT, trying to get above and try and get into the other 100-point marker, might be able to do so tonight if Sam can really pull his weight as well.
Yeah, definitely so. To the absolute joys of everyone who mistakenly looked for a second at what the weather was doing, it's bone dry out on track. I'm very glad to report. It is going to be overcast, but it is going to be a dry start to the race, which is going to be really good. Not sure when we're going to be getting going. We are going to be getting, though, very, very soon indeed. There was a very impatient man there in the chat, Roberto Thanos there in the chat, saying, when are we going to be restarting? When are we going to start? When are we going to start? We're going to be starting very soon indeed, just within the next couple of minutes or so. So bear with us, we are just waiting for these drivers to ready up, get their setups on, get their strategies set. And speaking of strategies, it should be, if it's a dry race, a simple one-stop. Hards to mediums, mediums to hards. One of the two combinations work. If anything, though, I think drivers are going to be more leaning towards the hards rather than the mediums at the start of the race, because the hards are more durable. The mediums can last a good 14, 15 laps around this track. But it pays to be careful, I think, going especially down in towards turn 1 and not picking up any sort of damage on this race.
Yeah, I'm expecting that especially for the likes of the BRT lads, who of course want to try and maintain their lead in the championship. Opportunity knocks for them in 4th and 6th, but knocks indeed is certainly a possibility around turn 1. If you're in that mid-pack, 2nd and 3rd row, is not the most ideal place to be if you've got a bunch of very fast drivers around you. Gatkowski, forever the most vocal driver in this league for certain, is certainly going to be wanting to throw his weight around in there as well. And of course, keep an eye out on the likes of Sam as well. I'm expecting him to sort of climb up the rankings for FRT. Some good points haul potentially on the cards for FRT tonight. And never discredit TF10 as well. Of course, a qualifying ban and a qualifying drop as well for Tales, who's down in 18th. So Rayan in 90s, the TF10 should climb through the rankings. And never discredit a world champion as well. Mateo down in 20th.
Yep, never discredit them indeed. We have got the grid, of course, coming very, very soon. And Zach, Phantom, Lafiti, the top 3. Then it's Tech, Mustache, Justin, Gatkowski. Enzo did qualify 3rds down in 8th. Sergio there in 9th. Cameron there in 10th. Christian 11th. Jesdal 12th. Sam 13th. Samuel 14th. Tom Roberts 11th. 15th in the end. Acid, Port, Tales, Rayen, and Mateo are the 20 drivers about to do battle out on track in that order that is presented. If anybody else is out in different order, we're going to be restarting once again, which is going to very much get Roberto Thanos very much impatient once again. It's not going to happen, though. Hopefully everyone is in the same order. Hopefully everything is good to go. And we should be good to go very, very shortly indeed in terms of the racing out on track. But apparently it is going to be a cloudy race, and there's also a mention of heavy rain at the end. So let's just put it this way. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Goodness knows what the weather's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real possibility. I'm going to keep it short because I'm sure people will be reading up any second now, but I'm sure the rain, if it does fall to heavy rain very quickly, it means that transition period's going to be quick.
Yeah, 5 red lights now about to go out here in Spain, and it is long hole, lights out, and away we go. Good stop by Phantom. Might get alongside Zach down in towards turn 1, but I think the Williams is just going to hold him off the start, and actually Phantom does get the quicker launch, coming down in towards the right-hand return and one. A VVE going to go 1-2 coming through the first couple of corners. Not necessarily. Phantom no lead. Zach there in second. Lafiti there in third. The particles and the smoke clear from Miles back in the background. Tech looking on the back of Lafiti as well. Coming through the right-hand return number 3. Everyone has cleaned through so far. McLaren there on the back. Kowski, there was a bit of carbon fibre, I think, flying off from somewhere. Zach and Lafiti, they were side by side for second and third. Now to the inside line, in toward the right-hand return number 5. Left-hander even. Return number 5, Lafiti's lead here from the gravel. Gets a bit of contact there, I think, with Tech. Just in that to the inside line as well, looking to try and find the move through. And is it actually Lafiti's wing that has actually got? He's got that, yeah, left side end plate damage on the car. Lafiti's got left side end plate damage on the car. We saw the carbon fibre fly. It was from Lafiti in the end, and Lafiti dropping all the way down like a stone. Absolute disastrous start for the EVE, man. As he gets contacted there with Cameron Dowds. Cameron Dowds there, all out of shape, but nearly gets contacted there by the TRT man. Phantom leads the way, 1.2 seconds the gap. Zach in second, Tech there in third, Enzo there in fourth. Great start for Phantom, not so much if you're Lafiti.
Yeah, Lafiti should have just pitted and got off of that one. It's a real shame that one because EVE needed the points, but they've definitely got Phantom towards the front. Who's already broken DRS on Zach, by the way, so he's flying out there at the moment, but Lafiti should have pitted, got off and just gone to a medium tyre and hope for a safety car in this race. That little incident with Cameron Dowds, Constantine and all the way down, all the way to the back in 20th, so a little bit of a mixed bag as Sam getting in a little bit of a battle with Ryan at the moment, up in 13th, up 6 positions already is Ryan. He's flying at the moment in that RB Honda. Here comes Acid as well down the inside line. Sam is hemorrhaging position, just trying to hold on around the outside, loses the rear, but then Ghost does the Haas, and that allows him to just avoid getting any kind of damage.
Yeah, and that's why, because Acid has just left the session there. I can't invite him back, unluckily, because I haven't got him on my friends list. It's simple as that. Phantom leads the way. Zach there in second. Tech there in third. Enzo there in fourth. 3/10 of a second, actually. Enzo's made a very good start. Very wide, though, in the background is Lafiti. That's going to now open up to Mustache to the inside line. Job done. Lafiti definitely needs to come in the pit lane, I think. To the inside line now through 11. In toward the right-hand turn number 12 of Banks Abadell. That left side end plate damage actually has got worse since I rolled on board with it. He is definitely missing the end plate. There's a spinner in the background as well. Jeslov is round, gets back going again though, which is good. Lafiti though, hemorrhaging positions, comes into the pit lane. Nearly makes contact with the pit wall as well. Into the pit lane, but just about manages it. Tech there goes to the inside line on the back of Zach. Turn 1, job done for him. And also job done in behind because it looks like Cameron Dowds through, Sergio through as well, and Mustache. Particles make it very hard down in towards turn number 1, but Phantom leads the way. He's the only man in the top 10, bar Rayen, who's all the way up in 10th, looking for 9th now actually on the back of Mustache, looking to the inside line, in towards turn number 4. Does he risk it for chocolate biscuit to the inside line? Oh yes he does. Look at the traction that the mediums get. Rayen has just made Mustache look silly there. Beautiful move by Rayen. Thuni's into 9th. They started down in P19.
Yeah, he's up 10 positions in just 3 laps. All right, you're going to keep the motion here as he keeps getting closer and closer to Sergio and Cameron Dowds for 8th and 7th place. TF10 putting all their confidence in Rayen to take that qualifying ban and make his inroads, and he's certainly doing so already. 30 laps to go, 3 laps done already, as I said, up the 10 positions. Up, well done to Enzo as well, up 4 positions. Acid retires, and I think that might be as a result of the potential frame rate drops as a result of reconnecting back into the session on a PlayStation, so he's out, and it's unfortunate for the GT10 man, down to 19 in this race then, with 30 laps to go. Fastest lap going to Tech. He's slowing down, he's catching up, sorry, to likes of Phantom, but Zach very happy to have that position right back out of his hands and back up to second. Yellow flags at the moment for Acid's car, who's just retired on the circuit.
Yep, Brienne as well, through into P8, Sergio there into P7, Cameron Dowds there dropping into P9, Gatkowski now has left the session as well, they're in P6. I do have him on my friends list, so I will try and invite him back very swiftly indeed. Seems like there's a few issues going on potentially in terms of the server that we're on at the minute. In terms of the racing out on track, I have passed Gatkowski on my friends list. There he is, just approved, invite has been given. That might create a few frame drops, but in the end, Gatkowski does have an invite, which is the best thing. Phantom leads the way though, Zach there in second, Tech there in third. Position changes happening all the time. There's a yellow flag, there's a slight moment there from Enzo, I think it was. Right on the back now is Justin to the inside line in towards turn number 10, not managing the move. You cannot see the cars coming through the left-hand of turn number 10. That smoke just hangs there in the background. It's almost as if somebody has done Tokyo drifting coming through the left-hand of turn number 10 here in Spain. Those particles from a helicopter cam are so bad.
Justin, yeah, the reason for that little tag slapper from Enzo is because Justin nearly did a bit of a punt to pass around turn 7. So very peculiar actually here. He's going to go for the overtake surely now, is he not? No, he heads back into none and doesn't look for the overtake on the schedule. Oh, look at that smoke. It seriously is intense at the moment. I'm expecting it to get even worse as this race goes on as well, as the overcast conditions become more of a haze out there at the moment, as he does reconnect into the session, does Gatkowski, but he'll be down all the way as low as 12th place.
Yeah, and Gatkowski saying he got disconnected from the game as well, and also Sonetic complaining that they had a DNF because we can't get in the car. Exactly how you put it there from Acid's perspective. Really unfortunate, I've got to be honest, because simply the game has forced essentially the order really of how this game has gone and how Acid's race has gone, and now probably Gatkowski's race is going to go as well. They have to DNF because they simply can't take control back of their car. I think Tales did it last night in PSGL and he was fine in Qatar, so it's really, really strange. It's a pure glitch that is within the game. Phantom though leading the way, 1.2 seconds. That gap is stagnant, to be honest. Tech there in second, Zach there in third. Mistake bomb Enzo runs wide through the final corner. Kakasi again leads the session. Justin now sets his sights on the back of Enzo. 4P4 to the inside line. He's going to be forced onto the grass there. But Justin, surely job done. Down in towards turn number 1. That is how you overtake in Spain. Justin Thurney's into 4th, and BRT looking very good right now with everyone's misfortunes down the field.
Yeah, it's getting even smokier than a jazz club in a 1950s Saturday night at the moment, because it's just seriously growing out there at the moment, and people starting to recognise the challenges that may end up facing if you get into too close of a battle with people. But Enzo at the moment is just so aggressive at the moment, is that smoke. But Justin up 2, Enzo up 3, 13 positions for Rayan though, 2 seconds back, but on those medium tyres and flying highs, it just lingers. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and definitely people can't take control. In the end, this glitch has been in the game for months and it hasn't been done.
Yeah.
And I no doubt that CPI are going to complain, Gatkowski, and GT10 have every right to complain as well with what happened with Acid. It's simply, though, literally what we are given in front of us, what we have to work with. It is not anybody's fault from Acid's perspective, from Gatkowski's perspective that they disconnected. It's just simply the game's fault, and it's been so idiotically coded. And I'll be honest, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rant because there's nothing really going on apart from Cameron Dowd. And actually, 2 for 1 down and towards turn 1. I will cut myself off. Sergio to the inside line. Cameron Dowd's the inside line on Rayan. Job done. Thuney's into 6th. Cameron Dowd's down in 7th. Rayan there down in 8th position. But it has been poorly coded, this game. It's almost as if a bunch of amateurs has coded this game, and glitches have not been fixed, and there have been multiple glitches of the same accord throughout the last 2 or 3 game cycles. If I was in Codemasters' shoes right now, and if I was a representative of Codemasters, get in the comment section and apologise, because it is simply not good enough for any of these teams to compete, CPI and GT10 in particular, to not compete at the best possible standard that they can. Their races have been ruined, as now he's left the session once again. He will try absolutely his utmost, as much as he can, possibly, to try and get back in the session. But we can't, because it's an idiotically coded game.
Yeah, and the unfortunate nature of the situation is that, you know, this has got to be treated. Oh, it's a
Justin
big
on the
from
bump.
Justin. Yeah, on the bump, ended up losing the rear. He managed to catch that really well to get back in there against Enzo. I've never seen that before. That's very peculiar in that one. But you know, it's one of those unfortunate scenarios, unfortunately, where you've got to treat it like, you know, a failure, like an electronics failure in an F1 car or an exhaust failure. Like, yes, it's an unfortunate set of events, but if you're out of the race, you're out of the race. You can't just call for a restart because of the infrastructure that you've been provided. WOR will give leniency to as many drivers as possibly can, but this is the platform we have been handed, and Codemasters should hold their heads in shame over the quality assurance issues that this game has been provided. I don't take as much of an issue with launch issues, because this is a common thing within gaming now. I take an issue when you launch a patch with these amazing patches and then it actually is worse. That is just the straw for me, and it really needs a thorough review. Oh, wow.
I'm going to cut you off here because we're going to get back to the racing action. Zach is all over the back of Phantom. Whoever's put Phantom on a set of mediums, you're going to be cursing your luck right now, because those mediums do not last beyond 10, 11 laps on the first stint around here. Most of the drivers on the set of hards He's been opened up to the fishies here, and Zach is going to power past him down the straight in towards turn number 1. Job done for Zach. Job done truly for Tech here as well. 2 for 1, down towards turn number 1. Meal deal there for BRT and FRT. Zach into the lead. Tech there in second. Phantom there in third. And from my perspective, as Rayen and Cameron Dowd are side by side through turn number 2, Rayen's mediums aren't really going off compared to Phantom. He's had to do all the donkey work out in front. Cameron Dowd's now on the back of Rayen. Mustache there on the back of these two as well. Rayen is not losing those tyres as bad as what Phantom has done out in front. And that's because Rayen, as you can't see the cars coming from the left-hand of turn number 5 again, you can't, with Rayen's perspective anyways, on the side of medium compound tyre, you are very much lucky, I think, still to be there. And Phantom is still going to be lucky to be there, because he's in a DRS train, but he's only going to filter back through that DRS train. So, only time now, really, is going up for these guys on the set of hards, and down if you're on a set of mediums.
Phantom could do the best thing Phantom could do at the moment is just stay within the DRS of the cars in front of him and then potentially extend his stint. Gatkowski reconnecting into this session. 2 pints of lager. It probably will be a packet of crisps in a second for Phantom with Enzo making his move, and that will make that move done. Justin could also be on the brink as well, but he slips back into medium DRS. In fact, it looks like Phantom's on a bit of a push here. Is he looking to try and get past at least one of them, I wonder? No, heads into another. Oh, collides ever so slightly to the back of Zach as well. He is really pushing the limit of these medium tyres at the moment, is Phantom, but he's got to be careful here because EV have already lost one of their drivers through a mistake in damage. Latifi's not going to do the same thing as Justin trying to get in the back of Enzo.
Yep, and he might get the inside through turn number 5. Beautiful run. But the track falls away on this outside curb, and Justin's not going to get the move done there. I've tried that before. Trust me, it doesn't work. Justin on the back of Enzo, 4th and 5th position. But what this is doing is letting Sergio, Rayen, Cameron Dowd potentially get back into play. Tech and Zach are just going to swap positions. Phantom's just going to be there stuck rock hard, basically in the middle. And Enzo and Justin there in 4th and 5th. They're now going to fight. This is pretty much the tale of 3 stories that is going on in this front pack. You've got Tech and Zach who have just been very, very easy with each other. You've got Phantom whose mediums are going off. And then you've got Enzo and Justin who want to go 12 rounds out of each other. And then you've got the likes of Sergio, Rayen, Cameron Dowd, 2.3 seconds, gap slowly beginning to wean itself down. And that means these guys can try and run back as Justin runs onto the back of Enzo, running down in towards turn 1. Zach is going to swap, though, with Tech for the race lead. Justin, is he going to swap with Enzo? Bit of a car park leading towards turn number 1. Enzo to the inside on, and Phantom in the end is the move. Phantom nearly forced off track. Oh, gets a bit of a collision there. To the right hand now of turn number 3. Justin all the way around the outside. Those mediums are absolutely shot already for Phantom. He concedes defeat. Justin and Enzo through into 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Phantom a bit unfortunate there, actually, to be fair, because he was holding his own, and I don't think he was expecting Enzo and Justin to go for it. So I think, actually, he is holding his own, but I don't think the mediums are just quite there for him now in this one as well. And what critical thing is he's got to get used to as well, as I try to find more metaphors for this as well. It is smokier than a sauna in Helsinki after a long winter, James. So it's going to get considerably more difficult for these people to keep racing so close when the smoke obscures their vision.
What's wrong with being in a hot tub in Helsinki? I wouldn't be anything wrong with that, to be honest, from my perspective. Zach leads the way. Tech there in 2nd, Enzo in 3rd, Justin 4th, Phantom there in 5th. The gap, 2.1 seconds. Again, 2/3 of a second cut down. Justin is very lucky, by the way, to still be in this group because he got caught on that bump. That proverbial bump coming to the right hand of turn number 13. Again, a glitch that has been, and a bump that has been apparently fixed by Codemasters, and in the end it hasn't. Sergio to the inside line on Rayen, now gonna go off my rant part 2 that I was gonna have there. Sergio into 7th, Rayen there in 8th. Zach will lead the way, Tech in 2nd, Enzo 3rd, Justin there in 4th, Phantom there in 5th. Phantom, to be fair though, as I said, mediums can last around 14-15 laps. And in the end, he is hanging on to the back of this train pretty well. But what cost is it to him later on in the race? Have EVE dreamt of the absolute dream strategy, try and gap the field, get a gap of about 4 or 5 seconds, then get the guys in the mediums into the pit lane? I will tell you from experience of commentating around here, mediums are so much quicker in the second half of the race. So, from my perspective, Phantom's on the wrong strategy, but if you pit, the earlier he pits, the better it will be for him, I will say that.
Yeah, the issue is, though, is that everyone is so closely compact at the moment because, of course, qualifying suggested exactly what we all knew, which was that everyone is in close proximity of each other. So if he pits, he's only going to hit traffic. So all that time he could find in the undercut, he's only going to lose fighting with people at the moment, as Rayen has had enough. He wants off of these medium tyres. He doesn't care about the gaps. He's coming in.
Yep, and he's heard me on about a 20-second delay, I think, of what I've just said potentially there, because he is now on a set of medium compound from a set of mediums onto a set of hard compound tyres. Surely this will be him into the pit lane, and we'll actually run on board with him now. Yep, pit lane, set of hard compound tyres. They last, as Avatar mentioned there in the chat, 20 laps out on track, so they should last towards the end of the race, which is good. But also, it could be bad because those tyres are going to be shot towards the end of the race. And in the end, Rayan, there in 16th position, still has to try and find something out of his locker later on in the race. The gap between him and the leaders, or the gap between actually Sergio and Rayan at this moment in time, is, if I do my calculations right, Justin's going to try and interfere on me though, because he's on the back of Enzo into the left-hand turn number 10, doesn't get the move done. The gap between Sergio and Rayan is, I make that 21.5 seconds. So 21 and a half seconds. That gap comes under 19, I would say. I think he's got a big buffer potentially coming his way.
He's already found 3 or 4 tenths, actually, as Phantom has come into the pit lane. He's had enough of these mediums as well. Found around about 4 tenths to Zach, actually, has Rayan just on this lap alone, so he's flying out at the moment. But we've got more racing happening here. This is the battle for first place. As Zach, Enzo and Tech get into a bit of a battle. Bit of collision happening. There goes Justin as well, looking for it as well. He's really on the limit, is Justin as well, as BRT wanted to hold on to the championship lead at the moment, and they're certainly going to be able to do that with a poor performance from Shizou here tonight, as well as Tales gets fastest lap of this race. TF10 are flying on these old hard tyres. Phantom has managed to get the jump on Rayan, but those tyres have got to warm up. 22 seconds is the gap between him and Tech at the moment. If he can find around about 3, maybe 4 seconds in this period, this transition period, he might be able to reclaim the lead. We'll see, though.
And I'm just going to come in, actually, on Enzo and Zach. That battle down in towards turn number 1. Enzo did push Zach off track. There was just a slight bit of contact between the both of them. Zach got forced out wide over the curb, and he's lost 2 positions, essentially, to Enzo and Justin. He would have lost position, I think, to Enzo, in my opinion, but he has lost the move to Justin. FRT could have a potential case of a penalty if they do want to report it, but it doesn't really matter at this stage because he's still in the battle. He's still looking for this front 4, and he's still looking on the back of Tech, Enzo and Justin. So if I'm the FRT boys and thinking of putting the report in, I wouldn't, unless you feel it necessary. Of course, Icon jurisdiction, I don't have jurisdiction obviously on the stewards or anything like that here in the Legacy Division. I'm just saying it how it is. But I'm also going to say, Sergio Cameron Dowds, as a result of that force off track, is now half a second closer than what they would have been.
I mean, there's no risk at the moment of TTM getting a qualifying ban as a result of penalty points. They're currently on 26.40 is the next gap, as well as a recent rule change as well, where 40 points now just gets you a qualifying ban for one of the drivers, as opposed to the last rule, which was actually a qualifying ban for both. So, you know, not even if they are deemed to be at fault, I don't think there's any risk of any qualifying bans initially happening as a result of that one. But they do need to be on their best behaviour as much as they can. Oh, the lockups are getting really much more aggressive now, as these tyres are really starting to fall off a little bit here. If you're interested, by the way, gap at the moment, Phantom to Enzo, 21.7 seconds. So he's found a second in a lap.
He has found a second in the lap, and in my eyes, that's probably not good enough, to be honest, to try and find on the likes of Sergio Cameron Dowds, Mustache, that sort of battle potentially later on in the race. We are going to get maybe a triple overtake down in towards turn number 1. Tech, Justin, get the block on. Zach gets the block on as well. And the Brits now have a party in front. Tech lead the way. Justin there in second, the Dutchman. Zach there in third, the Brit. And then Enzo there in fourth, the Frenchman, who did have that 5-place grid penalty, remember. He started in P9, all the way now in P4, doing a fantastic race. They're going to now shoot themselves potentially in the foot, because look at the gap in behind. Again, looking in behind, Cameron Dowds, 1.4 seconds the gap, coming down 0.2 of a second this lap around, now 0.3 of a second. And the one person that you do not want at the front of a train that is leading a very good pack, I must add, Sergio, Mustache, Christian and behind, is Cameron Dowds. And I'm also going to throw this out. Mateo's in this pack. Tom Roberts is in this pack. They make their way further forward. It could get very spicy.
Yeah, it could actually, and that's the thing as well. They're also all within close proximity on the same strategy. Gap, by the way, 21.5 now for Phantom. He's actually put the, he's been given the hurry up by his team. You've got to get on with it now, seriously, because otherwise we're going to start losing tech. Stays out.
Cameron's
BRT,
in DRS.
Justin stays out. Zach and Enzo stay out. Cameron now in DRS as well in this one, but he's got so little energy left as Cameron Dowds is actually derating as he comes across the line, and as a result, Sergio very happy to take that position off him. Speaking of which, Zach now separating both of the BRT lads, a first, second, and third for them.
And Mateo's just got the move done on Christian very late on the brakes there in the background. Beautiful move though. Thurney's into 8th, Christian there in 9th, Tom Roberts there, down in P10. The first time, to be honest, that I've seen in a long time that Team Shizou and E10 have actually worked together in one stage to get them back within DRS range. Cameron Dowds to thank for that, and Sergio now within DRS range, 9/10 of a second off the back. And these guys haven't really been fighting on the aggressive front as what the front four have right now. So Sergio and Cameron Dowds might have slightly better tyres right now. Christian certainly doesn't, because he's just been done around the outside of by Tom Roberts, around the outside of turn number 6. Beautiful move by the experienced figurehead. He's through into 9th, Christian there in 10th, and Quarters in this battle as well. So it's now a top 11 battle. Rayen to the race lead, by the way, is 22.4 seconds, 21.1 for Phantom. So again, gaining time, just whether or not they're going to have that advantage later on in the race when these guys switch on the mediums, which should be very soon. Christian, actually, the first one to come in.
Yeah, 2 seconds in last 3 laps at the moment, so really struggling out there. Zach now retakes the lead of this race as well for FRT, just in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Enzo just took him behind in 4th. So finding around about 2 seconds in around about 3 laps at the moment for Phantom, but he has again been given the hurry up, and he is flying through the 3rd sector to set his personal best lap of this race so far. So despite the fact that it was on the medium, but I'll be saying now though, the track conditions are starting to degrade. We're starting to see the track temperature fall ever so slightly, and the overcast conditions are starting to creep in again. Are we starting to see the potential of rain falling at the end of this race already creeping in? Remember, it was a heavy rain cloud on the symbol right at the end, which means that transition period from dries to intermediates might be quite quick. The question is when is it?
To be honest, I hope it doesn't come, because I think with the race how it's developing right now, this is going to be a cracker regardless if the weather changes. Personally, if I'm in my shoes from a commentary perspective, I'd want this full dry towards the end of the race. I'd want everyone in to... Oh, Tech hits the pit wall! Tech hits the pit wall into the pit lane! Oh my word, has he lost any front wing? That was a clout to the wall. I think it was wheel on... it was wheel contact, I think, with the wall. Wheel-to-wall contact there for Tech. Has he lost his left end plate? No, he hasn't. It was just pure tyre. He's very lucky there. Medium compounder tyres on. Quartz mediums. Mustache mediums. There's Phantom. Phantom's ahead. Is Rayen going to be ahead? Rayen's going to be side by side with Tech coming out the pit lane. And Rayen, I think, is just going to get ahead, is he? No, forced off track. The TF10 man has to take the escape road, and in the end, Tech remains ahead. And to be fair, TF10 will not, I don't think, get that removed if they do report it, because Tech was ahead into the corner. Rayen forced off track there slightly. They may have had half a look, but in the end, Tech, I think, rightfully ahead down and towards turn 1.
Worst case scenario for Phantom, that one as well. He managed to get in front of Tech, but his co-compatriot on the hard tyre and the alternate strategy did not get ahead of Tech. So Tech now favourite for this race victory. This is assuming he hasn't got any wing damage. It might have been the lightest of taps, but has he got even the lightest a bit of wing damage
all
there?
in. Oh, Justin!
Seriously, it's there, and they're all coming in. Wow!
And Zach went into the back there with Justin. Cameron Dowds continues on. Mateo, interestingly, continues on. That might be a battle to watch out for later on. Zach, though, into the pit lane. Justin in. Sergio in. Tom in. Enzo in. All in, pretty much, here in Spain on lap 20 out of 33. Medium compounder tyres go on, which clearly says to me that it's not going to be raining towards the end of the race, and they're not expecting any rain towards the end of the race, that's for sure. Phantom is already through. There goes Justin. There is Tech in all of this as well. Justin comes out in a net P3, essentially. Mustache is ahead of Zach. Zach is the one that's now going to struggle. Rayen, by the way, is on a set of whole compounder tyres right in the mix, right in the middle of all of this. And it's currently, as he lags back slightly, coming in towards turn number 4. It is, what do I make that? Phantom all the way down to Tales. 11 cars for the lead.
This needs to be the finest bit of defense work you will ever see in any kind of racing scenario for Phantom here, because these hard tyres are so much slower versus these now fresh, brand new medium tyres. He's going to have to defend like a lion if he wants to try and take the race victory tonight, and that will, of course, help Rayen, who, of course, is on the alternate strategy as well, because everyone will be all sort of brunched up together, and those medium tyres will burn very quickly in that dirty air. So he's going to have to defend hard here, Will Phantom, but he's really struggling, and he's already struggling with the ERS management on the rear end for the Mercedes. He'll come through the final corner now, and I'm expecting an overtake. The overtake should be done pretty swiftly, I suspect. It's not even going to get halfway down the straight. Moustache fastest lap. Tech takes the lead. Will Justin go for it as well? He certainly will.
BRT now currently in that P1 and 2 out on track. Zach to the inside line. Oh, Moustache absolutely sends it on the brakes. Very late on the brakes there for Moustache. Nearly collects Zach. Zach's now around the outside of Phantom, though. In the meantime, all the way around the outside, the fresher grip surely going to prevail. Zach to the outside line. Phantom very respectful driving again there from the EVE, man. Really good driving from him. Zach now into a net P3. Phantom net P4. Moustache dives it to the inside line of Phantom. Wants this move done very, very easily indeed. And in the end, force them off track slightly. To be fair, that's a clean move in my eyes. Moustache Flooney's into 7th, Phantom there in 8th, Enzo there in 9th. Opens now up the door for Enzo. Opens up a whole kettle of fish for these medium runners, because the mediums so far looking so much quicker than these guys on the set of hards. Here comes Enzo, now to the inside line for TTM, trying to get the move done on the EV man, who runs out wide. Easy as you like. Enzo, maybe the easiest overtake and the easiest move you'll see all night. Enzo Flooney's into 8th.
Strategy's probably killed off EV's chances of a race victory tonight. They are going to be seething that they've wasted this opportunity. Why did they go for the inverse strategy? They didn't need to do it, and they have wasted any kind of opportunity of taking the race victory tonight. Moustache might be in trouble for that dive, by the way. That was such an appalling move from so far back. He didn't need to do it, and if anything, he's only lost a position to Zach as a result of this one as well. Sergio getting ultimately close to Phantom as well. Phantom, while this is all happening, by the way, it's even worse for Phantom. He's actually down on fuel. He hasn't got enough fuel to finish this race as it stands. Wow. So he's also not just racing, he's on a fuel save on the wrong tyre. This is the worst strategy I've ever seen from a team who was starting near enough on pole. This is ridiculous. And
Rayen to the inside line just rubs salt into the wounds. He's on the same strategy as Phantom, and he's just made him look very easy indeed. Christian to the inside line, nearly forces the EVE man off. Now brings Quartz directly into play. Tom Roberts directly into play as well, further down the field. And Tom now on the back of Phantom. Wants Phantom to just get out of the way, I think, at this point. And Tom looks to the inside line. Can't see a thing going into the apex, but he gets the move done. He's in for 11th. In the end, though, Jeslar leads the way. What has Jeslar chosen, by the way, added front? He's still continuing on to the final corner. Has Jeslar chosen hell, potentially, in this race? Because it's going to look that way in a few laps' time. Justin and Tech are going to be a net 1 and 2, that's for sure. And Tech overtakes Justin for 2nd and 3rd position. Zach there under pressure from both TTM and Enzo. Moustache. That's a clean move. Really nice move. That well received there by TTM. Through into 4th, through into 5th. Zach there down in 6th, but he tries to fight back to the inside line. The block on no for TTM, and Zach knows what's coming. And in the end, Moustache brakes a little bit too early, and Zach nearly forced off track. Zach is forced off track. And Sergio now tries to go around the outside for ET8, and Zach hand a rage fling to the ET8 man. If I'm Zach right now, I'd be getting revenge back, because that looked, to me, intentional.
Yeah, a bit of a love tap, actually. Looks like he lost the rear ever so slightly, and I think this is the thing with Moustache. He always seems to be really teetering on the edge and falling on the wrong side of the argument. He's done that for the last couple of laps now. He needs to calm down and just focus and work with Enzo here. This is a good opportunity for TTM to get even more points off the back of a very good Chinese Grand Prix last week. They're not aiming for a race victory, but they certainly could be on the potential of a podium. They just need to work together and get back in the DRS of the two BRT boys who are flying out there.
And Sergio right on the back of Zach. Zach right on the back of Moustache. Could be 3 wide down the straight, and Sergio's going to get them both to the inside line. Easy as you like in the end, and Zach gets the move done. May have been told just let him off and then get him back, coming maybe through the right-hand turn number 4. But if that wasn't a real lock that Moustache had, that was definitely just slightly a tap too far off the grass. And in the end, for me, that's why I called it intentional, because it definitely looked that way from the POV shot that we had. Justin leads the way, Tech there in 2nd, Enzo there in 3rd. Enzo now has to try and gain back on the BRT boys. But when you've got a BRT team that is so far clear of Team Shazuma in the standing, 60 points coming into tonight, they're so far clear by 1.4 seconds, albeit over Enzo, they are the ones to beat right now. And at this stage in the race, it's definitely proven that, because Enzo has got 27% of ERS, Tech's on 37, Justin's on 38, so no matter what Enzo tries to do, I don't think he's getting back within that second. I think we've got our 1-2 potentially here, unless there's a safety car VSC.
Tom Roberts, 3-second penalties, and 3-second penalties coming in as well. Jeslar down in 16th also had exactly the same issue, as it looks like to me that they're going to be consolidating 0 points at the moment for CPI, which could close up that middle ground. Sergio goes for the overtake on Enzo for P3. Good overtake from Tech on BRT under DRS as well
Zach!
as the 2 BRT boys. Wait, John Zach! Oh my goodness me!
Switchback out of turn number 2, tries to get the move done now through turn number 3, never gonna work, and now ends up Mustache is thrown into 4th, Zach there in 5th, Enzo there in 6th. TTM not only losing their heads in terms of the championship, they're losing their heads out on track, because this, honestly,
to calm down.
Yeah, they need to calm down. They need to take a chill pill, quite literally. Know from somebody that swears for a living, literally off camera, which is me, and that is TTM now definitely swearing in their own heads. And in the end, 4th and 6th position, is this where the engineers just have to rein it back and say, guys, come on, control it? Or are they just losing their heads enough for the engineers not to care, and then choose to maybe to try and box Zach in, and then all hell could break loose? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there going through turn 3. It looked like that Zach was on the outside, and then Enzo was just understeering through turn 3, or perhaps taking his usual line, and obviously they got caught, and the little half spin. Yeah. Enzo ends up getting overtaken by Zach as well, but Mustache ends up getting in that position. Justin and Tech have then made that re-overtake for 1st and 2nd. They'll keep working with each other in this one, as Zach re-overtakes the TTM boys for P4. FRT need these points at the moment, so Zach is willing to work hard for it at the moment. Sergio up to P3. If FRT get a podium here tonight and battle with Sergio, that would be magnificent for the future racing team at the moment. Quartz in the top 10 for GT10 after all of this racing at the moment. GT10 are in the top 10. Fantastic.
And Team Shazoo currently 8th and 9th. BRT 1-2, and they're going to be having a huge advantage going into next week. That is for sure. But in the end, Justin leads the way. Tech there in 2nd, Sergio there in 3rd. Sergio's having to do now the donkey work to try and level up the playing field, level onto the back of the BRT boys. But on lap 26 out of 33, this gap all of a sudden begins to come down. It was 1.7, I think I had at that. It's now 1.3. And Sergio has to try not only deal with the smoke, but also try and hang on to that ERS, because it's now all of a sudden 1.5 seconds. And that might be just BRT again, consolidating the fact that they've got more ERS. Justin's on 44, Tech on 29. No matter what happens in this race, BRT are doing a stunning job out in front. And this is coming from the guy who I think predicted them as 8th position in my predictions at the start of the season. What difference 9 rounds make?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Going through into turn 1, then all the smoke. It's just getting so intense out there, as well as the smoke of P1 and P2 still affecting P4, despite the fact that they're 2.5 seconds back. Should we go for another metaphor? I've written these down, by the way. Let's go for this one. There is as much smoke as a cigar lounge in Havana. We'll go with that one this time.
Cigar lounge in Havana, nice. The only Havana na that I'm going to be saying is that. Tech leads the way, Justin in 2nd, Sergio 3rd, Zach there in 4th. Zach now looks all over the back of Sergio, but again, that smoke is just ridiculous. It's smoke and mirrors. That's not a Cody Rhodes reference, by the way, for WWE fans. Zach on the back of Sergio, looking on the back. The gap all of a sudden was 1.2 seconds. Now, Sergio was struggling to maintain his ERS battery. This is gone, I think, now for 3rd and 4th. I think this is 1.6 seconds, and this is going to continue on. Unless there's that threat of rain towards the end of the race, which I don't think it is. I think it is going to be cloudy right towards the end. Tech and Justin are doing a phenomenal job. They're keeping the gap consistent at 1.5 seconds. And do you know what? They're about to lap Lafiti as well. That is just going to rub salt into the wounds as Enzo goes for the move of Mustache in towards turn number 1. And also Zach all the way around the outside on Sergio. Sergio backs out the throttle through turn number 1. Beautiful move though by Zach. Beautiful move. And the FRT man through and he's into 3rd. That looked much easier than what I saw from the POV.
Very respectful from Sergio, actually, in that one. So he knows that the P3 is definitely still a fightable situation and allowed Zach to take that position. 28.33, so a few laps to go here. Did say keep an eye out on Zach, but I really wasn't expecting a podium sitting position for Zach here tonight. So it's an excellent race from the FRT Williams Mercedes. Sergio just trying to keep up there for ET8, of course, Aston Martin Mercedes. Matteo has had an absolute blinder of a race as well. 13 positions gained, started at the back, up in 7th, and just getting into the DRS of Mustache here. ET8 could be off for some big points if TTM keep racing the way they are at the moment, which is a little bit shaky. Matteo could get the both of them, and it could be a big points haul in the end for ET8.
And Sergio's probably getting told right now at this moment in time, try and hold Zach back. We've got the TTM boys now back pocket and bring Matteo into play. But with that, you also bring Cameron Dowd into play. And that is the worst possible thing you can do around a track like this here in Spain, where Matteo is undoubtedly stronger than Cameron Dowd. And speaking of which, they're side by side down in towards turn number 1. And Cameron Dowd's with the head. That's late from Enzo. Nearly on the back of Zach through turn number 1, and now tries to find it again through the right-hander now at turn number 3. In the end, though, Zach just about got to the apex ahead, just about kept it within track limits, and is just about in 4th position. But TTM have chosen one thing in this race, and that's hell.
They haven't. TTM are really, really aggressive out there at the moment. I'm sure Tez and the rest of the team actually are probably working with each other to try and tell their drivers, calm down. This is a good points haul for TTM. They need this 5th and 6th place. They'll be happy with 5th and 6th place. They'd be happier with 4th and 3rd maybe, but it's not worth bottling 5th and 6th place. TTM really could do with these points at the moment, especially after a really, really bad season so far. They've managed to get their mojo back in China. They can keep that mojo, just work together. Don't work too hard though. Enzo, just keep in touching distance with FRT Zach. You never know, there may be a mistake on the horizon. In fact, Zach has had a poor 29th lap actually, and that has opened up a little bit of a gap between him and Sergio. Enzo may go for it here, we'll see. Medium ERS being used, none being used for Zach at the moment, so no overtakes on this particular lap here with 3 laps to go at the end of this one.
Yeah, Leonardo saying in the chat, I can feel someone is going to get killed. Hopefully it's not my CPU, because it is going absolutely through the roof. Justin leads the way, Tech there in 2nd, Sergio in 3rd, Zach there in 4th, 1.5 seconds the gap. I think my prediction again is going to be right here, because the gap was 1.2 seconds. That Sergio brought it down to. Couldn't manage it though, to try and bring it down any further than that. And BRT have got 27% and 54%, so double the amount Tech has got compared to Justin right now. They're controlling this race and just keeping it out of reach. Sergio's like, come on, I can just about reach through my TV screen and just about grab you back. Cameron Dowds, though, is going to go for the move on Mustache. Is he to the inside line? Scotsman, Frenchman, inside line. Scotsman and the Frenchman walk in for bar. What are you going to get? Round the outside goes Cameron Dowd. Into all the right-hander now, turn number 12. Surely not around the outside of 13. Cameron Dowd, flying Scotsman. Brilliant move. And there comes Matteo as well, trying to join in the fight as well. Justin and Tech are going to swap for the race lead. Matteo and Mustache now going to be side by side. But take a bow. Flying Scotsman, absolutely centred around the outside. And one of the most difficult parts of the track. Cameron Dowd makes it look easy. This is why he's console's greatest son.
Matteo is also on the back of him as well. I'm wondering if the medium tyres have fallen off a cliff here. It's 12 laps versus 9 laps here. Is he going to go for it? He will down the inside line. Well, Matteo, is this an easy move? Oh, losing the rev so slightly. But I think that move is well and truly done and dusted. Yep. These mediums are starting to fall off here. And this is where Cameron Dowds and Matteo's races are now starting to come into play with 2 laps to go. They've left it late, but it might be really now paying dividends, leaving those extra couple of laps on the hard tyres. This is where it pays off. They're getting closer and closer. TTM are dropping points out the wazoo. This is why I said, don't battle too hard. You'll burn your tyres. And that's exactly what's happened.
And Cameron Dowds now in 6th position. Looks as if he could be within the reach of a podium. And I've just said that because I think he might. Look at the tyres though. Enzo's tyres are gone. Zach's tyres look like they're going. Sergio's tyres not too bad either. Cameron Dowds is all over the back as if he's just drawn the race. And now he's setting his sights on the back of Enzo. Enzo though setting his sights on the back of Zach. Zach on the back of Sergio. Is anything going to happen in towards turn 1? 3 wide in towards turn 1 is definitely what's going to happen. In towards turn 1 we go. Enzo and Zach side by side. Enzo just about nearly forced off track there, but Sergio now rejoins him. Enzo there slides, coming through the right-hand turn number 2. Lets Matteo into play, and now Sergio's got to decide, what does he do? Does he let his teammate through and have a crack at Enzo, or does he just let Enzo do his own things? Enzo there in 4th. E10 are going to let Cameron Dowds do their own thing as well, because Matteo and Cameron Dowds are side by side. The ex-PSF1 racers and PSGL now doing battle even Spain. Justin leads the way, Tech in 2nd, Zach in 3rd. Top 2 are confirmed, for now at least. Zach there in 3rd. Not so much.
Oh, I would say that, you know, apply a little bit maybe of some race tactics here, maybe a little bit of a call from the team to say, let Matteo go and actually have a go at this one. He's on the better tyre, but with 1 lap to go, that's a bit of a bold call. I may just say, you know what, race it out. It's between you guys. If I were them, I'd just say that's it. I think keep it simple and let them race it out. We'll have to see, though. Enzo is holding on here against Zach. Zach is not able to get anywhere near the BRT, boys. I think we're going to be here for a BRT 1-2. Zach is going to try and hold on for P3 at the moment. This is the best overtaking opportunity here, but there's no ERS available for Enzo. He's down to 10% later on the brakes, but Zach is able to hold on. This is big for FRT. They need this.
Yep, this is unbelievable now. Sergio and Matteo definitely need a result out of this for ET8 as well. But for BRT, they're 1-2. They're living in dream world right now. There's a yellow flag and Phantom is off coming through the right-hand turn 1. Is that a puncture potentially? It is not. I think it's just a spin, I think, for Phantom. Yeah, it is. Just a spin for Phantom. That's unfortunate for him. Justin no leading the way. Tech there in 2nd. Zach all of a sudden is coming alive. He's got 40% of ERS. He's burning it up, and now he's within the 2nd of Tech and Justin. Luckily, though, unlucky for him, the DRS detection points just before he got within the 2nd. Cameron Dowds trying to go around the outside now on Matteo. Under pressure from the Flying Scotsman. Tries to go all the way around the outside, but he doesn't manage it. And in the end, I think we're now pretty certain of who's going to be finishing where. Justin now coming down the hill through the right-hand turn number 13. Not getting caught on the bump this time. He nearly had a race-ending collision with the bump. Justin through the final corner, takes the race win. Tech there in 2nd, BRT 1-2. Zach there in 3rd, Enzo in 4th, Sergio there in 5th, rounding off the top 5. BRT, we are living in their world. Justin in the end takes the race win. Tech there in 2nd, Zach there in 3rd. Fantastic drive from BRT. Absolutely deserve it, and Zach in the end held off Enzo, held off Sergio, and picked up a rightfully deserved P3.
It's a battle of the RTs in the end, and it was a race of the RTs. BRT, BRT, FRT for the top 3, and FRT so happy for the future racing team. They deserve that. They needed that. That's the boost that they needed. Well done to Sam, by the way, getting the final point in this race as well. Top 15 score points in World as well, of course, if you're not familiar. So FRT get a double points finish with 1 on the podium, which is fantastic for them. TTM will be happy with Enzo in 4th, but Mustache, that battling and that aggression has just saw his tyres fall off a cliff and invited ET8 to swallow up those points and again close up that gap between those at the front 3. BRT will start to push away, but Team Chazoo have had a poor race. That will open up P3, P4. We're looking forward to seeing what the standings will look like at the end of this one. Oh, the paddock chat's already blowing up. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be very fun indeed. Matteo gets drive of the day awarded by the in-game fans. I don't think he is, personally. I will tell you mine in just a second, but the BRT team are going to be absolutely humming from the cockpit of their cars and the kick Saubers. A fantastic end to that race. Dominated in the end by Justin and Tech's brilliance over the final 8 or 9 laps that they had that gap. Outside of a second, they knew exactly what they were doing. They communicated very well. And Justin, in the end, as I say, nearly ended up in the wall, coming off that bump, coming through the right-hand 13. In the end, picks up the race win. It developed in the end for BRT, and this race developed for them. This championship is developing for them. Everything right now is going BRT's way. We'll go through the grid order now, though. It's Justin out on top, 0.4 of a second over Tech. Zach there in 3rd, Enzo there in 4th, Sergio there in 5th, Matteo there in 6th, 20th on the grid to 6th, good drive from him. Cameron Dowds 10th on the grid up to 7th, good drive from him. Mustache, Quartz and Rayen rounding off the top 10. Rayen very much done by the second half strategy. Christian in 11th, Tom Robertson 12th, Talas in 13th, Jeslo 14th, Sam 15th. Then I think it's Phantom in 16th, Sam Barker in 17th, and then Lafiti in 18th. Acid and Gatkowski, by no fault of their own, DNFing out of that race. But in the end, fantastic race win for BRT. And once again, we're just living in their world.
I mean, that's just absolutely astonishing, to be honest with you, from BRT. They managed that so well, and they should be really proud of their performances so far this season, as well as they continue on in their amazing form that they are in this league, as well as they continue getting race win after race win after race win. And I did say, didn't I, that they needed to just try and find that performance with their second driver, and they're getting it now. So they're taking those learnings and actually developing their team as the season progresses. So they should be seriously happy with their performances so far. It's absolutely magnificent, to say the least. We're still waiting on the standings to be updated. So, of course, if before the end of this end of the stream we do get an update, we're sure to let you know. But what it seems to me at the moment is BRT, of course, are going to extend their lead in the championship. I'm wondering if ET8 are going to overtake Team Shizou, as well, because that 4th and 5th finish immediately tells me that the points tally could be enough that ET8 actually might overtake Team Shizou for second place in the standings. CPI have had an absolute shocker. They're going to fall down the standings if they keep at it at the moment. TRT have had a not particularly great race themselves, though. But fair play to FRT, who I've got no doubt are going to be earning big points, and they are earning big points at the moment. And I think we've had the updated standings coming up here, and the gap between first and second place, Team Shizou have hold on to P2, and the gap is only 19 points between second and third with ET8. BRT, on the other hand, 116 points is the gap now. They're now on 405.
405 indeed. These are standings that I will get up in just a second. Nobody is going to be joining us for interviews, which is a shame, because I would have loved to hear from the BRT boys. I would have loved to ask them about their strategy calls toward the end of the race, which was really, really strong, I've got to say. The last 8 or 9 laps decided that race. They kept that gap out, but plus 1 second. The gap, I think, was at 1.7, 1.8 for a little while. Then it came down to 1.2, and then it just widened itself out. And that is all because of race management. BRT did phenomenally well on that race management. They absolutely deserve everything that I think that has come their way this season so far. And looking at the calendar, we go to Imola in a week's time, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, or the Imola Grand Prix, however you like to call it. Imola, though, next week, are we going to see scenes of the same thing? Because I don't know if BRT are strong around that track. I don't think they are.
Yeah, historically, they've not really been up there, to be fair, BRT. So this might open up the race a little bit. But Team Shizou at the moment are so off the pace. I mean, they've got, what is it now? That's 6 podiums this season. None of them were wins. And they've now gone 5th and 6th and 7th and 12th over the last couple of rounds. So need to find a little bit of pace. And I think the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, a really close circuit is Imola. It's quite a tight circuit. So if you do quite well, that might be the boost that you need to head through the rest of the season. So they'll need to perform well there. ET8, I think, should perform decent there. I'm expecting CPI should be up there as well, actually. So may see that gap slowly close down. But once again, ET8, despite the qualifying ban, closing down that gap on second place. Gap is now 19 points between them and Team Shizou. They need to find that pace, Shizou, because they're losing out on their title.
Yep, they are indeed at this moment in time. I'm just going to come on and look at the standings. That's WOR console tier 2, so I don't know what I'm looking at in terms of the standings. BRC, as you mentioned, 405 points. They're 116 points clear of Team Shizou going into round number 10 next week in Imola. I can sort of, and I compare it sort of to what FRA did in season 1 around here, where I wasn't around here, obviously, in the WR Legacy Division back then, but FRA dominated that season. Looking at how many race wins BRT have had, they've had 5 race wins so far this season out of 9 different races. They've been on the podium 7 times out of that. They picked up 3 fastest laps, I believe, in that as well. And they've never been outside of the top 7 with at least one of their drivers. Yes, another 2 with DNF, but in actual fact, their podiums is something short of extraordinary. 9 podiums, 5 race wins, and we've still got over half of the season to go.
They are well on their way to 10 tons of points here if they keep at it. They are on their way to get in that if they continue the performance. There are some murmurings of an FRA performance here back in season 1. I do remember that one, obviously, with Callum G as well. Bless his soul. Hope you're doing well, Callum. To me, it screams as if we are heading in that direction at the moment because Team Shizou, their nearest competitors, are falling off a cliff at the moment. ETA are delivering a podium here and there. They had a good performance tonight, despite having the qualifying ban, which saw Matteo starting 20th. So a sixth place finish is a really good result for him. So ETA could close down that gap as well. But we all put Team Shizou as the championship winners for this race, for this season. At the moment, those second and third place finishers that I said they needed to find more pace off to, get their season going. And now they're starting to pay the price for that and not even getting a race victory to their name at the moment as well. Bearing in mind, Novus Racing got one, CPI have got one, TTM have got one, ETA have got one, and BRT have got the rest. So the fact that Team Shizou haven't got a race victory to their name, I think is just the epitome of their problems at the moment.
Yep, and they are certainly up against it here in WOR Legacy Division, and it's going to be very interesting to see how things get on, of course, out on track going forward for the rest of the season. But, I kid you not, there is more action to come. And for WOR console tiers this season and this week even, it's Las Vegas. Oh God. Oh jeez, that's gonna be a brilliant race for the console guys. On for round 4 of the championship. It's Las Vegas, of course, November 21st and 22nd. That's this Thursday and Friday. And it's normally console tier 3 and 4 that get covered, and no console tier 1 and 2 get covered, of course, on a Friday night at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. UK time. You may catch me if Ace is not there. WR console tier 2, it depends how my voice is throughout the week. But Las Vegas it is for round 4 of the championship, and then they go to Britain for round number 5. The PC tiers, on the other hand, have got, they've done Singapore, they've got Las Vegas on Monday coming up as well. So if you do want to tune in for that, WR console tier 2, even PC tier 2, PC tier 3, all live 7 p.m, 8 p.m. UK time, of course, on this very channel, and indeed on the World Online Racing Twitch channel, which I've never mentioned until I think now. Big thank you to those our sponsors, Next Level Racing and indeed Gridfinder, for providing us with our sponsorship, of course, for this season. We are going to end off here. My voice is gone, as you can tell. I've got commentary tomorrow night as well, so I definitely need to rest it up. But myself and Jota are going to bid you farewell indeed. There's a reminder of what is to come. We've got Imola, Azerbaijan, and the Netherlands coming up before the season breaks for the festive break, of course, after December the 10th. We are going to be back with you in a week's time in Emilia-Romagna for the Imola Grand Prix. We're going to be with you once again at 7:15 p.m. UK time. Tune in. Do not be square because it's going to be one hell of a race. I can definitely tell you that. For myself, from Jota, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.